fade in.
No, God!
Fade in, fade in, fade in, fade in, fade in.
No, God! No, God, please, no! 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 No!
I am the type of Star Wars fan that doesn't even have a favorite movie. I just want to live in the universe of Star Wars continually, in perpetuity, forever. So when people are like, what's your favorite Star Wars movie? I'm like, there is no Star Wars movie. There is only Star Wars.
I'm gonna kill myself! I'm going to kill myself, and it's your fault!
The sequel movies were just the worst garbage ever. Last Jedi was one of the worst movies I've ever seen in my life. I wanted to leave the theater, but I was like, I can't. It's Star Wars. You know, I need to watch it. But man, was that bad.
I think that the thing that George never did was maintain the status quo. And I think that that's really important because...
Fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you!
When I read 8, I told Ryan, I fundamentally disagree with virtually everything you've decided about my character.
Who is this guy? How did the most optimistic, hopeful character in the galaxy turn into this hermit who says it's time for the Jedi to end? I read that and I said, what? I mean, that's not what a Jedi does. I mean, a Jedi is optimistic. A Jedi has tenacity. He never gives up. He doesn't secrete himself on an island. But you'll.
What's the best kind of firework to buy?
Wouldn't you like to know, Weather Boy?
Where are your parents? Kid's sketchy. Back to you guys.
So they wanted us to keep going. That Star Wars girl said, keep going. Okay, so
Wait, what are we talking about?
I figured out how to monetize social justice warriors.
I have no love for He-Man.
I know, but I have no love for He-Man either, but he's got a place in the world, in a comic book story.
When I was a kid, I'd watch He-Man and Masters of the Universe when I got home from school. From 1981 to 82, it was a rich...
I'm kind of retarded.
To all of our Star Wars fans in China.
What's up, all me Mokshables, Droids, and Wookiees? It's Anna, also known as Star Wars. And I joined once again by my wonderful co-host Jesse Milestone from Mindless Entertainment.
What's up, everybody? It is I, your God Empress, fearless leader of the Mindless Mob. I'm here. I'm alive. This is where I stream my 1-7 live streams from. So it's strange to be here on YouTube, but I'm like, I'm not playing guitar, but the guitars are here. I'm not on 1-7 Live, but the mascot is here. That's a little baby tofu. I named him Jack. This is actually a cool thing. Apparently, like this is a coveted item. I'm a very special person. I'm one of the few humans to have my very own baby tofu plush. This is like worth hundreds of dollars.
That's random.
Yeah, it is. It's a strange facet of that fun streaming community I do over there. There's like events and prizes and stuff, and the only way to win one of those is through placing very, very highly in certain events. So, hence, if you have one, you did good, kid. Basically, it's almost as exciting.
Nice. I remember you telling me about that. I was trying to wrap my head around the concept of a really expensive plushie, but then I was like, I have no room to talk because I order plushies from Japan and they're expensive.
That's fair. I also have a candy bouquet because Jeff loves me.
I'm trying to see if there's anything on there I'd actually eat. Oh yeah, Skittles, Starburst, Sweet Tarts. Yeah, I don't like Twizzlers. I'm not a Twizzlers person.
I love Twizzlers. Do you like Red Vines?
I hate Red Vines.
All right, at least you don't like Red
Like
Vines.
with a passion.
I like Twizzlers.
Oh my gosh. So to address this comment, look at her hair. She's gone full 70s Farrah Fawcett. Yeah, so I went and I got my hair fixed today because my roots were looking bad. I'm not too happy with this, but it is what it is. This is the way to do it where it's not totally dead. I like how Jesse, I asked for white hair, and this is what I got. Like last time, and this was just a touch up in tone where she like added in my little. I I didn't want the big bulky Rogue Street. I just like having a little one. I think it looks good.
I think everyone's just
Frames
so
my face.
afraid. It's that hairstylist thing. There, when you ask specific, it's like you tell them in plain fucking English what you want, and they're so afraid that's not really what you want. They give you the fancy, beautified hairstylist version, and it's like, no. When I said I wanted you to make my haircut uneven, I meant I wanted this side to be shorter than that side. God, that was fucking like the work I had to go to convince my hairstylist. Like, I want short layers, this short all the time, chop it to bits. And they're like, no. I'm like, shorter, please.
Yeah, I'm even looking at it on camera right now. And I mean, the last time I got it done was actually right before I made my last video. And I'm like, it was a lot lighter even in that one. And this one, I'm like, it doesn't look, at least the ends, which she's supposedly toned, it doesn't look anything different than when I went in. Like, this top looks a little bit better, but I've asked her over and over again. I'm like, can you blend this a little better? And she's like, yeah, I did. And I'm like, then why is it like a straight line?
Do you understand the meaning of the word blend?
And I'm like, I kind of have debated on finding someone else, because the photographer I worked with for my cosplay calendar, he's like, oh, I know this chick that's really, really good, and she can actually get your hair to white. And I'm like, I would love to try it, but the current chick that I use follows me on Instagram and like comments and stuff, and I'm just like, I really, really like her, and I think she's done a really good job in the past, but I don't know. Maybe I should speak up a little bit more, but it's just really frustrating.
Definitely speak up. I like I made Jeff's mom like does not want to do the clippers on my hair. She's totally freaked out about the idea of using that on a woman's hair. To the point where, like, when she gives me a haircut, I have to go to the bathroom and do most of this myself and be like, this is what I want. And then and it's terrible because I've like hacked at it, without seeing it. And I'm like, okay, now you have to fix it because I broke it. And then so she does it. But she's like, I mean, and this is, granted, it's been a while, but like Jeff's mom was legit. She's not just like, oh, mom giving a haircut. Like, she was a professional hairstylist. She knows her shit. But they just like, I think the professionals are even more nervous sometimes when it comes to like drastically altering what's there, because they're like, oh my God, it's gonna, what if you hate it? I can't grow back. I don't want to do something you don't want. I'm like, but trust me, I want this. I'm telling you. But I've had to do that same thing. I've had to be so insistent with hairstylists about what I want, and I'm like, I felt bad because I'm like, no more. And they're like, it's done. And I'm like, but it's not. It's not
what I wanted. Yeah. No, there was this chick I went to high school with that she had like a short pixie. I think she should have your haircut personally. But the way that she does it, I don't know why she thinks it looks good, because it doesn't. And because also she's like, she was raised as like a gymnast, but now she's gotten into bulking up. But she's very insistent that she's not a lesbian, but she does everything to make her look as manly as possible. And I'm like, she did for a little while have kind of your haircut where she has like, it's really short, but then she's got a little bit of bangs. And then she would wear like bright red lipstick and she'd do her makeup. And I'm like, okay, it does look cute, but I think she's one of those people that would look better with longer hair, but she does have like the jawline.
Yeah, the like short everywhere with the like little fringy look. That's like the very classic, like old school Smith lesbian look.
Yeah, but like, kind of like Audrey Hepburn and Sabrina, but then way like buzzed on the side. So, but she had those bangs that I think worked, and now it's just like straight up buzz. And I'm like, what are you doing? And she's bulking up so she looks like a man. And I'm just messing with my hair. I know I see people saying, girls, stop with the hair talk. I'm sorry, but us girls can talk about hair forever.
Let's always talk about hair.
Let me see. Rajo Helsing, thank you for becoming a member. Thank you. I'm kind of debating on doing what Drunk 3PO does. Because so Drunk, he'll do his weekly live stream, and then after he has a room on Discord where it's like a voice chat, and so he talks with his members for like half an hour, I think.
Nice. I have a soon to be second our second one will be coming up once I schedule it. I'm doing quarterly State of the Mob addresses on Discord right now. And part of what we're planning to do is more members only chats over on Discord as well. So I'm definitely getting more into this Discord community. I think it's really great because it's a great place, especially for people like us that have multiple channels, sometimes some cases multiple platforms, and you have a lot of fans of different aspects of your work too. You have fans of your art, you have fans of your Star Wars takes, you have fans of your Henry Cavill simping, you have a lot of different fans of different types of things. Same over here.
I would just like to notice, hold on, everyone, I didn't mention Henry Cavill. Jesse did.
Yes.
I'm trying to keep, people say that I talk too much about Henry Cavill, and I'm like, I haven't mentioned him in months. Well, I don't bring him up first. Everyone else brings him up first because I saw so many people going, Anna talks about him way too much. Blah, blah, blah. I'm like, I never bring him up. I don't. So I just like everyone to acknowledge. I'm going to start doing this from now on since everyone's like, yeah, Anna talks too much about Henry Cavill. Jesse brought him up first. It wasn't me.
This is true. I will accept that 100%. I did mention Henry Cavill. But the point is, the point was not about Henry Cavill. Now we're talking about Henry Cavill. The point is simply that Discord, I think, is a wonderful place, a wonderful central place to gather all your, and because it's awesome. It's like the next step up of, okay, I really like you, so I want to engage with your community, so I'm going to jump over to this server. But it's, no barriers. Most people don't require you to pay to join their Discord servers. Most people.
Well, I think now that used to be the case, but now, because so many people have gotten in such trouble from Discord that it's almost like you have to, because weirdos will come and join it. I can't remember who had this like big controversy, but people would like go in and like they'd be in the Discord for a while to seem like they're a fan, and then they started putting like pedo stuff, and then it would get like, it was like a plant where they would plan to frame this person whose Discord it was for like pedo stuff. And so they'd be in there for a long time, just lurking or pretending to be a fan and like commenting every now and again. So that way when they did this, it would be like, well, that person's been in your Discord for months. It's not like they just joined now. So that's why a lot of people do Discord where it's only for like their patrons or their members of their YouTube channel. Or they'll have like specific channels just for it.
Oh yeah. Well, okay. I'm seeing that pop up now too. Well, because that's also different too. You can do private access on your Discord as well. You can do paid access.
How do you do that?
There's different levels of access.
Okay. I need to have somebody sit down with me and explain to me how to do all this stuff.
One of the things too is you can level up your Discord. Like you yourself can pay to have a better quality Discord with more options. So that's a thing now too. But you can also, because Discord has those, like you can upvote people and stuff too. So other people who have done, like they can send you the necessary tokens or whatever for you to upgrade your to have that like higher level of platform. It's a whole thing. Like just like, actually I think Discord is smart. They're doing it. I'm a little less behind on this than I would have been because of 17 Live now, and I'm understanding like app-based programming a little bit better, and how like there are basically these platforms have their own currencies now. That's also true for sure.
Patrick, thank you for the super chat. Discord does better notifications than YouTube. Yeah, I used to post it on my Discord all the time, and then somebody told me that there was a bot that could do that, and I'm like, how? Show me. And it just never happened. But yeah, that's something that I'm definitely interested in.
Yeah, so I'm learning more about mine, which is really cool. I'm mostly because somebody just offered to set it up for me and curate my community. Oh, apparently there's a Gaming with the Mob YouTube channel now that I have to go find and subscribe to.
Oh, good for you.
Yeah, we're going to be doing it's going to be tabletop gaming and stuff like that. So I will be definitely present for at least soon. At some point, we're going to schedule like a one-shot, like 5-hour-ish campaign that I will be a part of. So
Jimmy Feckles, thank you for the super chat. Stay you. Oh, thank you. I appreciate it. I will. I have a really hard time not being me.
I do too. I love that bit of advice, but I also wouldn't know how to do anything else. That's that's always my response is when people are like, be yourself. I'm like, I don't know how to be anyone else. So,
well, I have had to explain to people that, and I'm like, you can't take it personally, but I have a really hard time sugarcoating things, and like to the point where it's like it's better if I just don't say anything. And I have a really hard time controlling my facial expressions and like my reactions to things, because people are like, that's a fake reaction. I'm like, no, it's real. Like, I'm never gonna live this down, but somebody got me a present and I couldn't help but going ew when I opened it. Like one of my family members, they got me this, and I'm like, never get me food. Like, unless it's hot Cheetos, the safest route is to just never get me food.
That's
unless you know 100% that I like this thing, that you've seen me eat it a million times. But so somebody got me, like, I love crepes, like strawberry and Nutella crepes. I absolutely love them. That's one of my favorite foods. I can eat that all day, every day. Somebody got me, it was in a box, like you would think you got a box of chocolates, right? But it was like chocolate covered crepes, but that just means that they're basically chocolate covered crackers. And my immediate response was like, I opened it, I was like, oh my gosh, gross. And my whole family were like, Anna, what the fuck? And I'm like, it was just my reaction. And I'm like, I felt so bad after, because I'm like, yeah, I know I should have just immediately like, oh, thank you. But I couldn't control my immediate reaction to it.
That's
it's like
fair.
when you taste food or you drink something and it tastes disgusting. Like I don't know. I felt so bad.
I did that once too, when I was like 8 and my family member got me a doll. And yes, 8. And she got me a doll and I was over dolls. So, but you know.
Well, that's why I'm always terrified of like when people send me stuff, or like when people give me stuff. I'm like, I don't know, maybe I'm just one of those people that it's like, I like giving gifts. I don't like really getting gifts. It makes me kind of uncomfortable. Like, I would rather much just like go and like get what I wanted myself. I don't know. Because I always feel bad when I can't control my reaction to something. So, and I've tried explaining that to people. I'm like, I don't know how to do it. Like, I always feel bad after the fact, but like when it's happening, I have no control over it. And so, yeah, it would be very hard for me to not be me.
You guys out in the audience can hear whatever you want from this, but me as one of Anna's actual real life friends is hearing something completely different. I'm hearing, get a jail free card for giving Anna presents forever. Just get her Amazon gift cards and she'll be happy.
That's actually a great plan. I love getting gift cards.
Perfect. Well, that's great. Honestly, because the thing is, there are gift card friends and then there are not gift card friends, right? And it's not always about how well you know. A lot of people make the mistake of thinking a gift card friend is someone you don't know that well, so you don't know what to get them. So you get them a gift card because whatever. And then there's, you know, whatever. The thing is, you're like a gift, but you're like a real gift card friend of like, it could just be Amazon. I could get you like a Michael's gift card, or I could get you I could get you like a Sephora gift card or something. I'm like, there's all these, because I know the kinds of things that you like, but I would run the risk of picking absolutely horribly if I tried to pick it out for you. So
well, it's like when like my family would get me art supplies and I'm like, these are the wrong, I always feel bad because I'm like, these are the wrong ones. And I'm like, I will never use this. So it's, yeah. And I've tried to explain that to people too. There are friends that are like that, or, you know, family members. Like, well, I need to stop saying like, but so like with my father, I can get him any kind of hot sauce and he'll like it. Like my father just loves hot sauce. And that's the thing is like me and him will sample hot sauce, even though I don't like sauce, but I will try it just to see if it's actually hot. But so I can get my dad any hot sauce any time of the day forever and he'll like it. Whereas, you know, sometimes my mother, maybe it's just better me get her jewelry or here, you know, go get what you want, Mom.
Yeah. My dad doesn't like things. But actually, the last time I got him a gift that he actually adored. I just happened to be at a bookstore and found a book about the making of Casablanca, which is my dad's favorite movie of all time. And he read it and loved it. I'm like, great.
Hey. Stephen Giblin, thank you for the super chat, dude. The look on Anna's face when Jay showed her the statue I made him was hilarious. You looked like you hated it. Oh, did I? I don't even remember. I'm trying to think of when. I can picture Cecil's statue, but I can't picture Drunk's statue. I don't know.
That good, huh?
I don't remember it. Is the thing. I don't know. I'll have to see a picture of it, but yeah, I don't remember of it. No, somebody actually made me a statue of myself. I think it's around. Oh no, you know what? It's in a box because I still need to rearrange this whole area, but it didn't look anything like me, but it looked good. I was like, wow, this is flattering. It was just like a hot chick like taking off the stormtrooper helmet and like shaking her hair. Again, it doesn't look anything like me, but I was like, oh, it's like a pretty chick. So I was like, thank you for the compliment. But no, I mean, it's, I don't know. I'm much more comfortable giving gifts than I am receiving them. I get really uncomfortable when I get, certain gifts from certain people, so I'm just like, fuck it. I'm like, and of course it's always that pressure of like, I don't want to give them the wrong reaction kind of thing, you know.
Undertone of that, of course, is words. Russell Hall sending panties, not good gifts.
Yes, don't do that. Don't do that. It's disturbing.
No.
Paco71, thank you for the super chat. Did you notice on Wonder Woman video game trailer that Wonder Woman looks a lot like you? She looks nothing like me. Oh my god. Every single fucking video, every single girl, every single woman out there ever apparently looks exactly like me. No, they don't. Let me just break that for you right now. Completely different noses, completely different face shapes, completely different eye shapes, completely different eyebrows, completely different hairlines. She looks nothing like me. Thank you for the compliment, though. No, like somebody even said on one of the videos that I did talking about the Jack Murphy and Sydney Watson situation, they're like, Anna and Sydney look exactly the same. I wouldn't be able to tell them apart. And I'm like, we look completely fucking different. I'm going to pull up this Wonder Woman, Jesse. I'm going to show you.
I'm looking. I pulled up I pulled up the trailer so I could see her face. I want to see.
And now, you know, I kind of feel like people just do that just because they want to see my reaction because they don't look anything like me.
Maybe. Come on. I don't care about the stupid trailer. I just want to see her fucking face. I don't care about her hair.
I got it. I got pulling it up on the screen right now.
All I have is a close-up of her hair, so that looked like your hair, but that's all. Oh, okay. I mean, like, in the superficial ways. Oh, they didn't even show her in this stupid-ass commercial.
Completely different nose, completely different eyes. She has a tear duct here. I do not. Completely different chin. Like, look at when I do this.
She has a tear duct here. I do not, as if we can see that.
You can. No, like her jaw is completely different than mine. The nose is completely different. My nose isn't like that. It looks it doesn't look anything like me. Let me see if I can get it. Like, let's see. Is this it?
So
no, I don't think so.
Right? When this is actually, and you and Jeff do the same thing, right? You have the same when everyone's like, oh, I think that kind of looks like that person. And Jeff's like, it doesn't look anything like them. It's completely different cheeks bones and that bones and these bones and tear ducts and eyelashes. You're freaking artists. You're both people who do faces a lot. And you do people. So you look at the structure. You're used to seeing the minutia, the shape, the like little tiny things. The rest of us, we're like, oh yeah. She has brown hair and dark eyes and is making a face that looks kind of like a face Anna might make. It looks like Anna. That's as far as the rest of us get.
Yeah, it just frustrates me because I'm like, I literally look nothing like that. I don't know. It's a part of drawing, I guess.
If you say so.
Like, there's been very rarely when I look at someone and then I'm like, oh yeah, we have similar features. But no, somebody, and I think they were trying to compliment me, but I hate it when it's like somebody that I find personally very physically unappealing. And someone's like, you look exactly like that person. I'm like, you have no idea how much you just insulted me right now. Like somebody continuously, it's on Instagram. They're like, this is my favorite YouTuber. And not speaking about me, by the way. And I think it looks like that Star Wars girl. And I'm just like, there's two insults in one there. I'm like, thanks. But they tag me in it every single day. They post it on like their story and it shows up in like my filtered messages on Instagram. And I'm like, really? Really? Fazd, I think that's how you say it. Thank you for the super chat. Chocolate coated crackers sound kind of lit. Not gonna like, ew. I do not mix my salt or my sweet and my savory. Hashtag I stand with Vic. Yes.
Is Vic getting canceled again?
Yes.
What happened?
Yeah, Mars Girl is going after him again. I could probably pull that up if you guys want to talk about it. That is topical right now. Let me go find my notifications. They're still blowing up from it. Yeah, so I don't know if you guys know who Mars Girl is, but so she's got like this hard on for hating on Vic, specifically because that's how she became. She's not even famous. That's how she became kind of semi popular on Twitter, is hating on Vic. What is this? Okay, but so yeah, so all the people that were part of the like Kick Vic whole scenario and whatnot, they just will never let it go because that's their only source of relevancy. And so I just found the tweet. So let me add this to. Can we do this? Can we do that? Hey, we can look around the screen. Okay.
Hey, look at this. That's fancy.
Yeah. So this is what. Let me zoom in. This is what I was tweeted at. Hey everyone, check this out and look at what Mars Girl had to say about Vic Mignogna's fan club. Let's see. So she's talking shit about the fan club. So if I had a teenage daughter and she joined a club, any club, let's say it's a chess club, and then go to their official website and the club says, you may have heard we're a cult, but we assure you we're just normal chess club, I'd say I'm suspicious of the chess club. So yeah, it's just all she does ever is talk about Vic. That's her only claim to fame. So she just won't stop. She was part of the ones that was getting him, was really, big part of the Kick Vic movement when it was first happening. And even now, she was part of the ones that got him, kicked from LA Comic-Con and that whole shit show. It's just a bunch of middle-aged women that are miserable and have absolutely nothing going on in their lives. So they decide, let me hate on this man because it gives me some kind of power in some way. Like literally, Jessie, she was doing a Twitch stream where she was raising money to buy a couch, and I'm like, you're an adult and you can't buy a couch. I'm very deeply a $200 couch, mind you. Also, I'm like, what quality couch are you getting for $200? Unless you're like getting a very specific IKEA one. But
I was really into my futons for $200 and under from Walmart when I was in college.
Yeah, but you were in college,
when I was in college. Keywords when I was in college. My adult couch comes from IKEA, a real person furniture store. And it cost more than $200, I assure you.
Yeah, I know. Me and Peaches have been looking at getting like a new, like, we want to get a sectional, but that has recliners, and it's like, so expensive.
I love sectionals. They are so expensive.
They are, especially when they recline, but we need it because we have like the 1 3-person couch, and then we have like the 1 chair, and then we have like 2 like decor chairs, which are actually really comfy. But we've been wanting to get a new couch for a long time. Matt G, thank you for the $1. I appreciate it, even though you did not say anything. Patrick T, thank you for the super chat. Black and yellow Peaches soccer jersey. What's that band? Black and yellow?
Peaches, was that bad?
Wait. Black and yellow Peaches' soccer jersey. Was that bad? Wait, what?
I'm confused as well. Hey,
welcome
to the party. So I was just saying hello to somebody in the chat. Saying hello. So say hello back.
Well, when I hear black and yellow, I think of the the song. But no, right now, if you do need to know what team we cheer for, so me and Peaches are big Ronaldo fans, and so he is playing for Manchester United once again. And fingers crossed for Portugal. Portugal is going to face Italy for qualifications for a World Cup. We better fucking beat them or I'm going to be fucking livid because this is going to be Ronaldo's last World Cup.
Eagles play the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in the first round of the NFL playoffs this weekend. That means my boys go up against good old Tom Brady. We have yet to beat a team with a winning record this season. I don't think we're going to start in the postseason against the NFL's golden boy. So I'm supposed to be working this Sunday during the game. I think I may actually allow, especially considering how, granted they were our backups, how they got ass raped by the Cowboys in the last regular season game. I think I might be happy just going with updates and like having it in one. I might actually, it is the playoffs. I'll probably listen in one ear and referee during the rest of it. And if someone gets mad, I'll tell them to suck my dick. And then I'll leave if they get upset. That's my new MO when it comes to refereeing fencing because I don't care. So if people make me upset while I'm working, I just make them more upset and then leave. It's really fun. I actually haven't had to leave yet because I get to the point of threatening to leave. And then the people that I work for realize that I'm actually serious and they realize they can't actually finish the workday without me. And so they beg me not to leave and offer me all sorts of nice things, including more money. And then I stay. So
there you go.
Yeah, it's fun.
Norman Dixon, thank you for the super chat. Wonder Woman girl has much sharper features, pointed chin. Anna's square chin, for example.
There you go, Norman. He knows.
Yeah, I actually have a heart-shaped face, which I'm not too fond of because my whole life, I didn't think I had a widow's peak, and then I started bleaching my hair, and I learned I have a very, very, very slight widow's peak, and I'm like, I need to get my hair lasered and just laser this off because I don't like it. It's very slight, but I kind of just need to fix all my baby hairs because I already nair my entire face anyway because I'm very furry, and my hairline actually completely connects. So when I bleach this to get this, it bleaches those hairs and then I have like more of a point. So based on facial features, I kind of does the, technically I would need more of a pronounced widow's peak, but Jessie has an oval face. I think, well now with this it looks much more oval.
Yeah,
but
people hidden.
I don't know. When you look at like women that have square faces, it is a lot more square. So like not literally.
Octavia Spencer has a square face.
Angelina Jolie has a square face too, like the way her jawline is. I don't have a prominent enough jawbone right here, so I was always like, do I have a round face?
I don't know if
everyone that has drawn my face, including my art instructors, they always say you have a very deceivingly challenging face to draw because my features, I guess, just don't make sense. And they're like, you look like it would be easy, but it's not. So I just recently learned, though, I have I guess technically a heart-shaped face because if my chin, you see how my chin kind of comes to a very slight point, if it didn't do that, excuse me, I would technically have a square face and it would be, or excuse me, yes, technically I have a square face. And if it was a little bit up, it would be a round face. But because I have it goes like this, it's, I guess, kind of like a heart. I guess. I don't know.
That makes sense.
Fun stuff, huh?
Fun stuff.
More you know. I know people were done with us talking about hair, but I guess we can get into
now
that
we're talking
too.
about faces.
Yeah. Let's see. Big Raj, thank you for the super sticker. It's not showing up on my stream at Yards, though, for whatever reason. But thank you for the super sticker, and it is a thumbs up. Oh, it's a member chat. That's why it didn't show up. Well, it's a thumbs up. Well, thank you. So we are actually going to be talking about Book of Boba Fett. Now, we wanted to talk about Spider-Man. Actually, yeah, let's talk about Spider-Man first, then Book of Boba Fett. What did you think of it? The newest Spider-Man movie.
Yeah, I was a fan. I was overall a fan, and I did think that they pulled off what they were trying to. I think it wasn't perfect. There were a lot of problems with it as a movie, but a lot of those problems, I'm like, I get it. I understand why these are happening because you're trying to write your way from this wimpy little child baby Iron Man character who doesn't really make sense in your future MCU into a more satisfactory Peter Parker that resembles the type of Peter Parker we've seen before, that resembles a Spider-Man origin story that we're used to. And they got him there. They sort of, it was impressive to pull off in one movie, which is why I think I can forgive some of its flaws. because it accomplished. It's sort of like it set out to do its thesis basically, which is refreshing because so few movies are doing that now. Most movies are meandering messes. And I actually found Tom Holland to really rise to the occasion in this one. Most of the movie, like the first 2/3, I could take or leave, honestly. And then the third act happens when the other Spideys get there, and I'm like, all right, and everything, you understand where everything was headed, and it comes to its satisfying climax, in my opinion. And I really do think Tom Holland sold that ending scene very beautifully in the cafe with his friends after making a real choice, a real sacrifice. God, what a beautiful thing to watch a main character go through. A real tough decision, a sacrifice that's not just going to be erased or undid or nullified in 5 seconds because plot. So I appreciated that. It's got a lot of problems, but I don't know. I think that how quickly it's made so much money explosively in the box office is very indicative as to what people are hungry for right now.
Exactly. You know what this movie made me realize? Well, I think I knew it before, but it made me really realize, because a lot of people are like, well, Spider-Man should be a standalone. It shouldn't just like have to rely on Iron Man or other characters. I 100% agree. I don't think Tom Holland is leading man material. I think he's best friend material or supporting actor material, because I really wasn't into the movie until, well, I knew the other Spider-Man were going to show up, so the whole time I was anticipating it, but it's so much more enjoyable with Toby and with Andrew in it. I think they did much better job, and that I honestly think once they showed up, it was more through their eyes than it was through his a little bit. I do agree
with that too. I think
that helps the movie so much.
Yeah. It was almost jarring the way they kept having to nod at him as being the lead one of the three of them. Because I agree, once the other two show up, it's like, it's really not your movie anymore, kid. Absolutely.
No, and I don't think the movie would have been successful without them. Well, I mean, it would have. It's a Spider-Man movie, but
not nearly. It wouldn't have been. It wouldn't have. Hopscotch to $1 billion without missing a beat like that.
I honestly think Andrew completely killed it in this movie. He's not my favorite actor, but he's a very good actor. Everything that I've seen him in, he does a real. Sorry, go ahead.
Did you ever see 99 Homes?
No, I've never even heard of it.
It was a weird little one. It came out the same year as The Big Short, and they were about the same kind of thing, but instead of where The Big Short gives you it's almost like this info film about the housing bubble and the collapse. This is Michael Shannon repos Andrew Garfield's home, but then offers him a job as a repo man to help him get rich and back on his feet. And so it's like the inside look of the people basically creating this collapse and how this good man, gets sucked into this evil scheme. Basically, it's really compelling, but it's just like, it was my first experience. It was my first real exposure to Michael Shannon as an actor. Like, I'm sure, I know I've seen him in little things and whatever, but my really first experience, like watching him as that kind of role. And then definitely my first time seeing Andrew Garfield in something serious. And I thought it was good. I actually thought I was gearing up for a very boring movie when I put it on, and I was riveted.
Well, Michael Shannon's a good actor. He's a great character.
I have a crush on Michael Shannon because he's that good. Like not because I find him attractive in any way whatsoever. I think he's very weird and gross and creepy looking. He is that talented, though. I'm just like, I have a crush on your talent, dude. Ugh. It's like I'm attracted to his talent. Yeah.
Well, I'm trying to think of how many movies I've actually seen Andrew Garfield in, because it's like I don't seek out his movies. I'm not a big fan. But before we went and saw the Spider-Man movie, me and Peaches, we tried to get the Munchkin to sit down, but she was like, there was some kind of Fortnite tournament going on, so she was off in some other world, which is weird because she loves Spider-Man. And so she had never seen the Tobey Maguire ones before. And then I showed her the first one almost a year ago, and she was like, oh my God, this is so good. And she loved it. She was like completely riveted watching it. And so I was like, we're going to watch the second one, which, a lot of people, I mean, at least when I was a kid, everyone was like, this is the best movie ever. And so she really enjoyed it. And then she kind of was in tone with the third one. She didn't like Venom, or she didn't. Yeah, she was like not down with that Venom, which I'm like, yeah, a lot of people weren't. And then she completely checked out when it was the Garfield ones because she'd seen it before. So she's like, all right, I'm gonna go play Fortnite. But I barely remembered it, and I think rewatching it, I was like, no, I think the movie was really not good. At least, you know, as far as the plot and stuff. But I mean, you're going to kind of get that when it's converting a comic book, fantastical superhero plot to, let's be a realistic film, you know? But I think he did a good job of playing Peter with what he was given, you know?
I agree. I don't think he was a stellar choice. Because I think it's just, I think you can go too wimpy with the character and you can go too hot, and I think Andrew Garfield is a little too hot to be Peter Parker. Like Peter Parker, if you go to the animated series, he's
like
not
hot, like physically attractive.
Yeah, like I think that like, and there's like, I don't know, it's the boyishness. Like I think he can be physically attractive and that, but like
I don't think he's attractive at all. So I don't.
Oh, you don't think
that.
he's? Oh, I think, but he's like
no.
The pretty boy. I do. I think he's very pretty, but he's the pretty boy, and I think pretty boy is the one. I think pretty boy is the one aesthetic that doesn't work for Spider-Man. And trying to go like, I think it was just, it came out at a time when everything was trying to be Twilight and in the next like teen romance and whatever, and it fell into that trap tonally, with the way they cast it, you know, which was funny because it was like two actors that were really ready to break out of being just the chick flick tropes with Emma Stone and Andrew Garfield, but they kind of just got shoehorned into that little hurrah. I was like, yeah, it had its missteps, but it wasn't without its charms either.
Which, the Andrew Garfield Spider-Man?
Yeah, more missteps than charms, but
I mean, rewatching it, I didn't think it was as bad as I remembered it, but I mean, I was also doing like other things. Like I wasn't just sitting like basically in a movie theater and like it had my full undivided attention. I was definitely like taking down Christmas decorations and stuff like that. But I don't know. I don't think he's attractive at all. I don't think he's pretty at all. I think he has a butter face. Well, I mean, I don't know what his body looks like either. Like, I don't even know if this guy's fit. I think he looks like a typical nerd. Again, I don't think he's attractive at
I actually think he's
all.
Gorgeous.
I mean, he's got good hair. I hope he doesn't lose it. I think that's his best feature. But
I think he's really cute.
Actually, he's one of those guys that I think his personality makes him a little bit more attractive, but I don't think he's attractive in the slightest. Like just physically. So
cute. Oh my God. I just think it's hilarious how you and I have like
the exact opposite taste in men.
Like, but the thing is, in some cases, we overlap with a couple. Like the few overlaps, and then the rest of it, it's like totally divergent, just completely.
Yeah. No, you know, I think that he's on the same level. I think he was probably an adorable child, but as he grew up, it just doesn't work. Like Howie from The Boys, I think it's so sad because his father is very handsome and his mom was like, you know, cute in her own way. And he got the worst features from both to make him look, you know, not in a very attractive guy, but he's got, huh?
Wait, from The Boys, the main guy?
Huey. Yeah.
Huey. Oh, no, I agree with that. I don't think Huey's very good looking.
Well, see, I think Andrew Garfield and Huey and what is his name? The kid from Home Alone. I think they're all in the same level of attractiveness.
Macaulay Culkin?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I don't think that they're attractive.
Okay, Andrew Garfield is the clear outlier on this. Andrew Garfield was sold to the masses as the sexy Spider-Man.
He's not sexy though.
Was sold on his sex appeal. I mean,
he's not sexy. He has no sex appeal. He has zero sex appeal.
I agree to disagree, man. Agree to disagree. I think.
Oh my God! Everyone is turned on me. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I do not find him attractive at all. I think his personality makes him, you know, seem like a great guy, at least from the characters that he's played. But
that's
apparently Anna only finds old men on. That's not true. Antonio Banderas in The Mask of Zorro is fucking peak masculinity, in my opinion. I don't know. Anna is shallow as fuck. How am I shallow? We're
literally discussing the attractiveness of men. Like, it's.
I don't think that makes me shallow. It just means I have a type and what I find attractive. I don't think that means. I don't know. I'm not walking around judging people on their appearance. Just in this specific conversation,
we are having a conversation
about
how we feel about somebody's appearance. So
I've said over and over again, I think he's a fantastic actor, and I was really shocked at how, good he was in the Spider-Man movie. Okay, well, you know what? Whatever. Be as sensitive as you want to think I'm shallow. I'm really not. I'm probably the exact opposite of being a shallow person. I just have very specific things for what I find attractive in men.
Andrew Garfield is better looking than Tobey Maguire.
Huh?
Can we at least agree that Andrew Garfield is better looking than Tobey Maguire?
Oh, no, not at all.
You think Tobey Maguire is better looking than Andrew Garfield?
Yeah.
Oh, he is.
I think he needs longer hair to cover up his ears because I didn't realize how big his ears were.
Attractive. Him to me, he is like. No, he's like a zero sex appeal. Like,
I thought he was. I don't know. I just don't find Spider-Man attractive, and I don't think about Spider-Man in that way because I see him as like a kid. Even when I was a kid watching Spider-Man, I'm like, he's a boy, he's not a man kind of thing. But I don't know. I don't look at any of the guys that play Spider-Man in like a, oh my God, that guy's hot kind of way. I think that they're all three guys that look much better when their face is covered in a Spider-Man suit. But I'm not watching the movie to be like, oh my God, this guy is so hot. I need to watch this movie. Like,
this is true.
Some other movies. How does this mean I have daddy issues? I love my father very, very much, and we get along great.
Yeah, women liking older men has nothing to do with daddy issues. Women liking older men just means we don't like children. Like, do you know how long it takes for a man to properly ripen? Okay. Look, and I love men. I enjoy them quite a bit. And I enjoy making fart jokes with my other 30-year-old male friends. And I enjoy making fart jokes with my 32-year-old boyfriend as well. 33, sorry, he's 33 now. 33-year-old boyfriend, very much, all of the time. Like, yeah, but that's why some women like older men, because it takes a long time for them to ripen. And some women like a ripe man. So there you go.
Well, no, I mean, Peaches is in his 30s, but
but you're also not in your 30s yet. So
I know. But I don't really see that as, I don't know. I don't even know why we're talking about those people. Apparently people get sensitive when you and I start talking about what we find attractive in men. But the point that I was making is, I don't even know why we got onto why we find them attractive or not.
It's my fault because all I think about is attractive men. You're
no, it's not your fault.
No, it is, because this is true. Like, oh, you're going to get the blame for this, but it's me. I'm the one who legitimately only thinks about, like, when you were like, I don't watch Spider-Man for attractive man. I'm like, really? Because the only metric I care about, like the first metric I go to in do I want to watch this movie is there somebody I find attractive in it? That's literally the number one metric I go to when determining a movie, and then any other factor.
I only do that when it's a chick flick. Like, but even like movies like 27 Dresses, I don't think that either of the guys in there.
I love James Marsden.
Yeah, the one main guy, he's cute, but I don't know. There's something about him that maybe it's because he was so dumb in Enchanted that I just can't unsee that. But
maybe I think I saw 27 Dresses. Which one did I see first? Because I guess I saw Enchanted when it came out though, so I saw that one first because that came out first, right? Yeah. But I
don't know. It's just, but yeah, unless the movie really relies on one of the main characters being very physically attractive, I don't really care. That's not really what I watch. Like, for example, one of my favorite movies that I actually just recently rewatched is Sabrina with Audrey Hepburn and Humphrey Bogart. I don't think he's a typically, standard attractive, this guy could be James Bond kind of man, but he's a really good actor, and the charisma that he brings to a role is what makes him more attractive.
Yeah. To be fair, I also find Claude Rains very, very attractive, so that's a selling point for me on Casablanca. So
there you go. But when it comes to back to the Spider-Man dog, because now I am gonna shallow my ass. Give me a break. But anyways,
I'm the shallow one. I'll take credit for that.
If you saw any of my ex-boyfriends, you would see that I'm not a shallow person. But
harsh. That was
I'm not. Which was probably one of the problems is I never dated guys I was attracted to until I met Peaches. Because first off, I always thought that they were out of my league. Like if I was really interested in a guy, and like even with Peaches, I was like, yeah, this guy's way out of my league. There's no way he'll ever be interested in me. And lo and behold, he was. So it worked out. But whatchamacallit? Yeah, when it came to this movie, it was that realization for me that Tom Holland is not a leading man. He definitely relies on... I think his best work is when he is a sidekick or when he is the best friend type of character. Like, him playing off of Robert Downey Jr. is great. They got great chemistry. Him playing off of Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire, great. Heck, even with... I was just talking about this with my hairdresser, actually, because she and I were talking about seeing the movie last time she did my hair, and then this time we had both seen the movie, so we were talking about it, and I had told her, I was like, yeah, I can't stand Zendaya. I think she's terrible. I hated her as MJ. I've never seen her in a movie that I like, and she just bothers me. And then we both agreed that she actually did a decent job in this movie. Like, I actually liked her in this movie. I was like, wow, she's pleasant. She's smiling. She has good chemistry. I think that she did better than Tom, like the way that they played off each other. I think that she did good. And so it was that realization. He's not a leading man. He's a sidekick. And so he does need other characters to be in his movie, which sucks for a Spider-Man character, but it worked out really good in this movie because you had two guys that I think are good at being leading men.
True. I think that's very true. It'll be interesting to see if they can figure out how to write him, well, like like I said, I think they've done a good job of resetting his story, but then based on that assessment, though, you must be trepidatious moving forwards because they have him very isolated from everybody. So it stands to reason that his next movie, he'll be very much the leading, the front and center of that.
Yeah. Well, see, then that's going to be him relying on a really good villain to play off. At that point, it almost needs to be like Infinity War, how Thanos was the main character of that movie. And he has to be... Because if they did that, if it was like, okay, let's say Green Goblin is going to come in, and since he just had this experience, he's going to kind of know who Norman Osborn is and, oh shit, this is coming. And then if they did the movie from the point of view of Norman Osborn, I think that would be interesting, in him being the side character, which usually is how villains are. If they reverse those roles, I think it could work. He's just going to have he's just always going to have to rely on having a better actor as a villain or as his mentor, I think. Yeah. Because he works really, really well with other actors, especially when they're good actors. Him and Doctor Strange worked really well off each other.
Yeah,
Again, him and Iron Man.
They really do. They're fun together. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Anything else you wanted to talk about with Spider-Man?
I think that it's how quickly it made $1 billion, especially in light of, it coinciding with this new Omicron variant spread of the disease and the pandemic and blah, blah, blah. A lot of movies justified their failures on saying, the pandemic, it's the post-pandemic world, post-pandemic box office. It's it's a new post-pandemic. This is a great metric by the post-pandemic box office. But Spider-Man is proving that a post-pandemic box office can look exactly like a pre-pandemic box office. It's sitting up there with one of the top grossing films of all time in a very, very short span. So I think movie houses aren't going to, production companies are not going to be able to get away with blaming, the pandemic anymore on the failures of their box office, or not going to be able to blame a post movie theater landscape now. They're not going to be able to pull this shit like they tried to do in Scarlett Johansson of taking away their box office. I think actually things like this really strengthen her case retroactively. You know, just it was only a few months before that, you know, a portion of a year before Spider-Man came out, that her movie got the day one streaming release. And there's no, again, now we have evidence to suggest that a Marvel movie with a beloved lead character can do damage at the box office, giving a lot of credence to a lawsuit that says you robbed me of a huge take by taking away my exclusive box office release. You know?
No kidding. But I think she settled, so.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure she did. But I'm just saying it recontextualizes those arguments. And it makes it harder for studios to pull that shit in the future. So.
Okay, so I see people bringing up the and I agree with Jesse on that. It's like if you actually made a good movie, a movie that people wanted to see, it will make money. That's the difference, you know? If you keep making all this woke shit that nobody really fucking cares about, then guess what? You're not going to make very much money. And heck, even with Dune, it was like I said before, it's first off, Dune, I feel, at least in my experience, it's either you like it or you hate it. I don't really know very many people that are like, oh, I'm just okay with Dune. Like, do you like Dune or do you hate Dune?
I'm just okay with Dune.
All right, well, then I stand corrected.
I'm the exception. I'm your one exception. I'm sorry.
No, I mean, maybe I'm just wrong. Maybe at least you're the first person.
You're very right. I'm on an island all of my own. I'm in the weird swing space where I can cohabitate with people who love it, and I can cohabitate with people who hate it, and be perfectly fine in both companies. Like, I read the first book. It was fine. I enjoyed it. I wasn't particularly compelled to read anything else. I wasn't compelled to watch the movie, but I think I have seen the 80s version, maybe parts of it at some point. Jeff hates that with a burning fiery passion. And I was curious-ish about the movie, but not that much. About the new one, but not enough to see it. So, there you go. That's my. So I'm that weird. I'm your weird anomaly where I'm like, yeah, it's fine. But honestly, you're right. You're right though. Almost everybody else is either absolutely love or absolutely hate. Like, this is my gospel and my Bible, and I have quotes written on my fucking wall of this shit. Or I hate it. I can't stand it. It's garbage. It's pretty much.
Yeah, well, I think if Dune would have broken up the movie, if they would have thought out, oh, hey, let's do this in 3 parts and let's make this like the new Lord of the Rings instead of prepping for 2 parts, I think it would have been much stronger and just had the second movie just focus completely on the loss of power in Arrakis. And then, Paul going out into the desert. That should have been how the second movie ended. And I think it was just rushed, and if you have read the books, if you know the story, then you kind of understand. But the whole plot with Dr. Yue, it just like they rushed it. What a waste of a character. If you want to see that stuff, watch the 80s movie, the David Lynch film. But with the way that they did it, I'm like, this could have made $1 billion, but it didn't. But so yeah, I know people are saying there was a troll that popped in that was like, the only reason you have 20 viewers is because you have Boba Fett in the title. Yeah, it's like, no, maybe look at the channel size and, you know, streaming times and stuff like that. But yeah, we are going to talk about Boba Fett. Oh, yeah. We had a little intro. But so I'm going to read some super chats. But while I do that, let me pull this up here because we're going to get into people reading over Boba Fett. And we are going to talk about the new Boba Fett. But let me read a couple of these. Let's see. Patrick T, thank you for the super chat. In a reference to your hating gifts, you dislike the black and yellow peach records soccer jersey I sent you, ? Laughing face. I mean, I know you sent me a shirt. Well, you sent me 2 shirts. I don't remember ever getting a jersey from you.
Tobias, the indigenous ginger person guy, don't do that. I've advised many people against this. He like everyone else has discovered or possibly thinks he's invented the drinking game of drinking every time I touch my hair. Don't do that. You'll die. The Surgeon General recommends against this game. It comes with the Surgeon General warning saying you will die if you play this game. If you do not take a drink, do not take a sip, do not take a shot, do not imbibe alcohol in any quantity for every time I touch my hair, you will perish. Carry on.
All right. Matt Decker, thank you for that. of it weren't for space hipsters, I wouldn't be watching BOBF. Is that Book of Boba Fett? Scooter's guy in skinny outfit wearing a tie, girl in mini skirt and space fishnets. Yeah, that's what I kind of got pulled up here. So we are going to talk about this. Thank you for the super chat. Macy Van Dusen, thank you for the super chat. Just arrived. Howdy, ladies and chat. I'm glad when Weirdos get triggered. Laughing face. It's funny. Zerkster, thank you for the super chat. If you were single, Anna, would you date a geek guy if you liked him? Well, I'd probably date someone that I like. That's typically how it goes, but I'm not single, and so I don't know. I usually tend to like guys that have nothing interested in the things that I'm interested in, because I'm the kind of person that I'm opposites attract. That usually works out best for me. Let's see. Some person, thank you for the super chat, just watched the G4TV stream. My goodness, cringe interaction. Heavily moderates chat and technical issues every 10 minutes. Truly embarrassing stuff and sad to see for what it was. Thoughts? Well, I am actually, if we have time after we're done talking about Book of Boba Fett, I will pull that up and me and Jesse can EFAP it. And I'm sure Jesse hasn't seen it yet, so we can get her reaction. It's so bad, Jesse. Like, I saw like a 3-minute preview, and it's basically some chick just bitching about sexism in gaming. And, oh, I'm sorry I'm not hot like the last chick, but, you know, you have to listen to me. And it's like nails on a chalkboard. Because I'm like, there's a way to do that and be eloquent and classy about it, but it's just terrible. Macy Van Dusen, thank you for the super sticker, and it is a rose. Thank you. Now I'm all caught up in super chat, so let's talk about Book of Boba Fett. So before we get into it, Jesse, have you seen Book of Boba Fett? Are you gonna watch it? Have you seen anything?
Jeff and I keep saying we gotta watch it, and we haven't. We just haven't. We will. We haven't.
Yeah. So my plan is, I've actually decided I want to kind of try this new thing, because I don't think I've seen anyone on YouTube do this. I think I might have told you about it, but I want to start doing my movie reviews and my TV show reviews where I'm painting. And so right now I'm actually working on this painting of Omni-Man. And when I'm done, I want to like record my audio and, you know, give my review of what I thought of Invincible. And that way you guys get to watch me paint while a character from the show that I liked. And then you guys get to hear my opinion on it, my review of it. And so with Book of Boba Fett, I'm waiting until the very end of it. I don't care about spoilers or anything like that. Because honestly, I don't know, maybe it's just me, but I kind of like knowing what I'm getting going into it, because it allows me to process it better. Whereas if I don't know how it's going to end, and if I don't know what it's about, then the whole time I'm like trying to like figure it out, and then I miss what actually happened. So that's just me. But so I'm waiting until the very end. I'm going to binge watch the whole thing. And then what I'll do is I'll do live streams on my other channel, and I'll paint whichever character from the show that I want to paint. And I'll post the review of me painting a character from the show, and it'd be like a speed painting. So I'd probably spend like 5 hours on it, and then edit the video and have it come out. And then, you know, here's my review of Book of Boba Fett, the entire thing, not just like episode per episode. So that's something that I'm trying. Here, I'll show you guys right now the one that I have for Omni-Man. So I paint them in, and this one I'm painting in segments, but it's like I just painted out the background. And so I'm taking like a color scheme from Frank Frazetta. And so when... Okay, so what? But yeah, so that's kind of my plan with Book of Boba Fett. That's why I haven't watched it yet. But I've been seeing people post screenshots from it and talking about it. And so like the last one, people were getting kind of like, what the fuck is going on here, when it's like Boba Fett dancing with the Tusken Raiders and stuff like that. Have you seen that?
No. God. I didn't really need Tamora Morrison to be Boba Fett. Like, I know everyone's really enamored with him as Boba Fett, like, or was, and like with the idea that he was gonna be Boba Fett and all this shit. And I'm like, he's still just a retroactive prequel edition. I mean, like, he's fine, that's fine, but I don't. It's like they want to show me Han Solo when he is old and washed up, or when he's a young little pathetic pipsqueak. They want to show me Boba Fett when he's fat and like a community man, instead of when he's like young and the most feared bounty hunter in the fucking galaxy. Like, no, recast him as I don't give a shit, a really great voice in a mask, and show me his fucking adventures, you know? Make this like, oh, Mandalorian Part 2, but actually without interjecting retarded side plots every 5 seconds and distracting us with cute little aliens because you don't trust your fucking writing, you know? See, there it goes, it works. I just see Kenobi. I'm not any more excited for Kenobi, but Ewan McGregor, I'm still interested in watching him be Obi-Wan Kenobi. That's something that still interests me. He's still of an age where I'm interested. Like if they had gotten Harrison Ford to come back and be Han Solo at the age that Ewan McGregor is now, I would have been interested in that Han Solo. But and I don't think they're going to get that show right either. But like I said, it's actually an actor I want to see playing the role. But I'm not impressed with chubby Boba Fett. Like, I know people are going on and on about that, but I'm going to throw my hat in the ring too. I'm not impressed with that. I'm not impressed with the way he looked in The Mandalorian. I'm not going to be impressed if that's the way he looked in his own fucking show. And I don't really like this. Like, again, so many years of teasing Boba Fett's spin-off shit, you know, ever since the fucking prequels came out. And you deliver with old man Boba Fett. Like, I just don't think it's just another example of being out of touch. And I can't judge the show itself because I don't know its content, but I can firmly say that this is not what I, as a Star Wars fan, would have wanted to see from a Boba Fett series. Would have been after, you know?
Yeah. Like Into the Spider-Verse, for example, wouldn't work if Tobey Maguire was late 50s, early 60s, right? It works right now.
No way. You do the same thing I do. I keep calling it Into the Spider-Verse because it's literally just live action Into the Spider-Verse.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry. Excuse me.
I've done the same thing like 12 different times. Live action Spider-Verse.
It's basically that.
It is. You're right. And like, honestly, 5 years from now, Willem Dafoe wouldn't have been able to pull off fucking Green Goblin anymore. So he did an amazing job.
He hardcore fought to be able to like do some of the action scenes. Like, I don't just want to be a voice.
Yeah, no, but he also specifically said, because it was important to do his own stunts in the first one too. He said, if I'm coming back, I'm doing my stunts as well. So that was a big deal. They didn't want to let him do it, but that's what he fucking did. I have a lot of respect. Willem Dafoe as an actor, I have an immense amount of respect for him.
Yeah, and he's extremely talented, but he's supposed to be an older character. It's not like he was in the prime of his life. He was older. He had, a full-grown son and stuff. Whereas Boba Fett, I was assuming, was like maybe around 35-ish, like 30, like mid 30s, early 40s, possibly, like still a little bit in his prime, right? So, and I mean, that was just without even seeing the mask on. When you see Django, I was like, okay, yeah, he's like late 30s, early 40s. And so with Boba Fett, because he's got the mask, I'm like, but he's survived this long, so I think he's got to be at least in his 30s to have all of this stuff, figured out. Kind of like Han Solo, 30.
Yeah. I think of him, I mean, honestly,
young guy, 33.
Because they're set up, like, I always thought about 35 because he's sort of diametrically set up as a Han Solo nemesis, it makes sense for the age. So, yeah, about 30.
Yeah, around the same age, maybe a little older, maybe a little younger. But, yeah, with this, again, I haven't seen it, so I'm not sure. Aside from him being in, the prequels, I don't really know anything else that, how do you say his name? Tamora Morrison?
Tamora Morrison, yeah.
Yeah. I can't recall anything else that I've ever seen him in, but I get for the nostalgia reasons, like, oh yeah, he's an Aquaman?
He's fucking his dad. He's Aquaman's dad.
Okay, well, let's be realistic. I only watched that movie once because of the false advertising of Jason Momoa being shirtless the whole movie, and he was shirtless for 7 minutes.
Fair enough.
Bullshit. But
Morrison. That's basically
I don't know. Like with this, and this is how I've explained Disney. not all Disney Star Wars, but like with The Mandalorian and with, I mean, I haven't seen this, so I can't speak to it, but with Filoni and specifically with Jon Favreau, it's the equivalent to me is like when a child draws you a picture of yourself and your house and your family. It's not the best picture. It looks absolutely nothing like what it would actually be like if they were copying a photo. But the love is there. Like they're trying, which is much more that I could say for Kathleen Kennedy, J.J. Abrams, and Rian Johnson. Rian Johnson literally just lit everything on fire. J.J. Abrams pissed and shit over everything and is confused why people called him out on it. And Kathleen Kennedy is just fucking terrible. So when it comes to this, I feel like I'm a little bit more... I grade it like as if it's a child drawing me a picture of Star Wars, if that makes any sense. Like I have to grade it on a curve because in my mind, this is like child level. So not professional level, which is probably how I should be judging it. But because they care, I am giving them a little bit more headway. But yeah, with this, I'm kind of glad that I'm not watching it week by week and I'm waiting until the end. But every single time I see stuff like this, I'm kind of like, what the fuck? So that's what we're going to talk about right now. So I had a genuine reaction. Again, I haven't seen it. I don't know what the episodes are about, aside from what I've seen in photos. And so I had just a genuine reaction. And of course, Weirdos lost their mind and was like, oh, well, you obviously don't know anything about Star Wars. And I'm like,
I love it.
I know.
Fucking love it.
So let's take a look at these. So this is Data Racer, which I highly recommend, everyone go and follow. Let me read the super chat. Macy Van Dusen, thank you for the super chat. Ta all, have a good evening. Live long and prosper. Well, thank you, Macy. Thank you for stopping by and thank you for the super chat. So I guess this happened in Book of Boba Fett. I really don't understand the concept. But I've seen people like just Photoshop like the Jetsons logo over this. I don't know what's going on. I don't know why it's going on. It did kind of remind me of Shane Davis's Starlight Cats at first.
I reminded the Power Rangers.
Yeah, it's like Power Rangers. It's like Starlight Cats. It's even like the Eternals. But I just look at this and I'm like, but why?
Yeah, this looks stupid.
Also, you know what kind of drives me crazy is I'm like, look at how clean Tatooine is.
Yeah,
it's like a set at like Disneyland. You know, it doesn't look like it's lived in. It looks like it's purposely like that. Like, could you imagine just walking down the street and not seeing some kind of graffiti or like scrapes on the buildings or gum or? Well, I get it that this is the Star Wars universe, but something to make it dirty.
It's also like
they have blaster fights all the time. Why aren't there blaster marks on the buildings?
Right? There should be scorch marks. There should be crumbling edges. It should be dirty. I mean, we're talking about also like a lot of bullshit Tatooine too. Like I don't know how much any of the rebellion actually affected Tatooine in the long run battle wise, but like it was already a dump beforehand. It's not like it got better. It's not like it fucking improved after that. So why does it look like, Coruscant came and gentrified out to the desert?
Yeah, like Naboo, it makes a lot of sense why Naboo is so clean and immaculate and beautiful. Sure. Certain levels of Coruscant you can see are like fancier than others. Like the higher up you go, the fancier it gets, kind of stuff like that. Like the Senate is obviously very immaculate and beautiful.
I'm supposed to look down this street and think I will never find a more wretched hive of scum and villainy. And this beautiful, pristine, well-lit, shiny, clean little avenue full of futuristic, nice, again, clean, shiny-looking scooters doesn't say that. Doesn't scream scum and villainy to me.
Yeah, and why are these walkways so wide? Like, even in the original Star Wars, I don't remember it being this wide.
Nope.
I feel like there would be enough room for the speeder to get through, but it would be so packed with people walking through. Because, I mean, Tatooine is very sparsely populated. So when you actually get to a city, like, have you ever been to a desert city or like a marketplace? Like this, I don't know, it should look like it. And it kind of doesn't. And you got some random Jawas right here, which I don't know.
What we've seen from Tatooine in the movies makes it seem like it's laid out like there's sort of one central marketplace area, and all the little side streets are very like narrow offshoots, you know? Yeah, like it's like they ignore the geography of you know, what's not someone says it's not Mos Eisley. Okay, so it's not Mos Eisley, but it's still, so where are they? We're a city in Tatooine. No city in Tatooine is pretty, is nice, is clean. Tatooine does not have nice, pretty cities. It doesn't have a fancy centralized government.
Like Jabba's palace, if you look at the walls, like when you're walking down, it's like kind of gritty.
I was about to say the nicest shit on Tatooine are the Hutts shit, because they were the highest of high. They were the highest level of royalty basically on the planet. And their and the Jabba's palace looks like a dump on the outside.
I don't know. Maybe it's the new maybe because it's not on film and it's digitally shot, it's got that different look to it. Like, I don't know. I see it, and you know what I see now, Jesse? It's just like Disneyland, the Disney Star Wars land. It's literally just a giant walkway.
It does.
Galaxy's Edge is a giant walkway. This looks like it's a parade at Disneyland. Like if they said this was a promo image for the new Tatooine expansion of Disneyland. Yeah, this looks like the Boba Fett parade at Disneyland. This doesn't look like it's a TV show. And this looks ridiculous. And again, I haven't seen the show. This is just me taking an image at face value. You don't have to like my opinion, but this is just my reaction. I'm not hating on the show. I don't know if the show is actually good or not, or if they have anything that would make this make sense, but the writing better be really fucking good to make this make sense.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Like, how are you in Tatooine and somebody hasn't shot at you and tried to steal your shiny bike yet?
Right, like
and there's not like a Jawa coming. Like, if there was a bunch of Jawas coming up and they're like swatting them away, like, go away, stop trying to steal my shit, or like, I don't know, it doesn't make sense to me. So that's image number 1. This is image number 2, and I'm gonna move me and Jesse so that way we can see it better. So there's this dude, which it reminded me a lot of here. I'm going to put the link to this in the chat if you guys want to see it up close for yourself. And Jesse, in case you want to pull it up on your screen. But so I don't know if you watched the Around the World in 80 Days with Jackie Chan. I'm blanking on the actor that was the British guy in that movie. But this, I saw that and it immediately reminded me of him.
Yeah.
And then look, they're carrying a painting of Jabba right here, which I thought was strange.
They crashed through a painting of Jabba, and then what?
It's a Ralph McQuarrie painting of Jabba too, which I was like, oh, that's cool. There's like a little Easter egg. It's Ralph McQuarrie. Cool. And then they crashed through it.
This is the stuff though, and you know, we'll talk about the Rancor post that as well, that, you know, someone had so many fifis about. As people don't understand, they're supposed to be a swoop gang. How come they're so clean? Like, look, there's not even a rip or there's no dust on his jacket. He has looked like an anime, like something out of an anime. Like, this isn't fucking, don't call it Star Wars if you don't want to make Star Wars. It's totally fine to make whatever ridiculous, hyped up, crazy, over the top, heightened reality, cartoony, sci-fi bullshit that you want. Make whatever you want. But don't call it Star Wars. Don't go, I want to make a Boba Fett show and then put a little scooter gang in it. Fucking make a show about scooter gangs who hit people up and like.
Well, here's the thing: there are swoop gangs, and they're in KOTOR, but they actually look like they fit the world. And I think one of the biggest problems with this is that they're filming it in a studio. Where, I mean, you go watch the original trilogy, they actually go to the fucking desert. You watch the prequels, they actually go to the fucking desert. I mean, Liam Neeson was walking around in the fucking desert in his Jedi gear. You could tell he'd been sweating. There's sand everywhere. And I mean, even though he looked, you know, kind of, I mean, obviously the actors aren't filthy, but you could tell they're in the elements. When you see Shmi talking, you could tell she'd been in the elements a little bit. And when she's like looking up and the sun's in her eyes and you can kind of see the little bit of sweat kind of starting on her brow, it was realistic. This mofo needs to go roll around in the dirt. I have never seen a gang that's this clean.
That's a lot. That's design. That's not just, levels of effort. That's purposeful. That's purposeful design, because when you see a character with sweat on their brow in a shot, that's on purpose, because you have to light sweat very specifically. It's never by accident. It's never, oh, they just started sweating, so we let it happen. It's either, okay, you're going to sweat in this scene, or we're going to miss you, or whatever. Like, it's on purpose when that shit happens. So that's attention to detail that's put into it. That's because that's how filmmaking goes. We're filming in a desert. We're filming in a gritty, dirty desert. We're filming gangs. We're filming criminals. We're filming slaves. They're going to be dirty. Their clothes are going to be torn. They're not going to look new. They're not going to look nice. They're not going to look clean. Even if it's expensive, it's not going to look fucking clean. And as somebody pointed out, if they're a swoop gang, where are their swoop bikes? They're riding fucking the fucking Star Wars version of a Vespa, for Christ's sakes.
Well, also, it's like you're telling me these people are in a gang and they don't have any kind of dents, scratches, chipped paint, or blaster marks on their bikes. Like, did they just buy them?
Exactly. If you're in the gang of, I stole my daddy's credit card last night, here I go. I'm not afraid of you, kid. Beat badass scooter coming through. Like, exactly. What the fuck? What the hell?
Spike is saying they were Vespas. Yeah, well, we can see that.
Obviously. Oh my god.
All right. And so this is the one that actually got me. I triggered somebody over my reaction. So we got the Rancor. We got Boba Fett. He's petting the Rancor and he's smiling, and Machete pops up. What is your reaction to this photo?
Okay. I've had this thing happen to me lately when something is so bad and so wrong that it floors me for a second, because I'm like, I don't even know where to start with why I hate this, because I hate it for about a million reasons. And I don't know if I want to start with the aesthetics. I don't know if I want to start with Danny Trejo. I don't know if I want to start with the creative bankruptcy of, oh, you know what worked in Return of the Jedi? Having a touching scene with a tough guy in a Rancor. So let's have a touching scene with a tough guy in a Rancor. I bet that'll really humanize our character. Like, I have so many, like, that I think is at the core. It's funny because it's usually, that's the one that took me the longest to get to. But I think at the core is the one that bothers me the most, is that this is one more example of creative bankruptcy, of let's just member berries our way into showing you something you've seen in the originals, you've seen before, because we can't fucking think of any new way to use a Rancor or Boba Fett other than a way that you've seen a Rancor used with another dude in a scene that Boba Fett happened to be standing around in the originals. So there, it all makes sense to us now. Like,
let me read this super chat because it's for $20. Thank you. That thing. Watch Tamar Morrison in NZL movie called Once We Were Warriors. It's an amazing movie which led him to getting his Hollywood break in Barbed Wire with Pam Anderson. Oh,
I have heard of Once We Were Warriors, and I've meant to watch it actually for a long time. I think I learned about it when I went to New Zealand actually, but yeah, I'd like to watch it actually.
Thank you for the recommendation.
I think Tamar Morrison is a fine actor. I have nothing against him as an actor. I just don't need him to be Boba Fett.
Oh no, he's answering because I said I was asking
what did you just name it? But yeah, but I actually
thank you for the recommendation.
I actually do want to see that. So thank you for reminding me that movie is out there.
Stephen Kraft, thank you for these super chats. Jesse and Anna, you two are right. It looks like they sanitized a Disney-fied Boba Fett. Also, problem that The Mandalorian was also basically Boba Fett redemption sequel. Yeah. I don't know. That's why I'm waiting to just binge it, because I'll binge it, I'll paint a picture, and I'll discuss it with the chat, and then I'll probably just rewatch it, and then I'll do a review of it with my full take on what I thought about it. But thank you for these super chats. I'm sorry if I missed any. I will get to it once we get to this next point. So now we've heard what Jesse has to say about this. Now I saw it.
I still had like 4 other things that bothered me, but please
go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh no, I was the last thing that I want. The one last thing I'll say, because again, I could keep going on and on and on. I do have a problem with recognizable actors, especially actors like Danny Trejo, who plays an iconic action star. I have a problem with iconic actors who play iconic roles showing up in Star Wars. I do think that it does take you out of the moment. I think that choosing to do that in your Star Wars show or movie means that you are sacrificing the reality of the world you're trying to build. I do think that, unless you're doing what a lot of them have done, which I think is good, like when you take Simon Pegg and you transform him to the point where you can't recognize them anymore. If you want to take a recognizable dude, when you put Daniel Craig in the Stormtrooper outfit, that shit's fine. But when you just put his fucking face there, and I'm like, and then what's everyone's reaction? Wow, what's Machete doing there? Oh, hey, it's Machete. Oh, why is Machete hanging out with the Rancor? That's what everybody thinks when you see Danny Trejo fucking standing here. And so it's a problem. And I think it does demonstrate a lack of intelligence, once again, this at the casting level. So it's at the directorial and the production level, a fundamental misunderstanding of how to correctly produce Star Wars content.
Let me address.
That's actually
yeah,
a point,
I was just about to address this.
Yeah.
Okay, so here's the thing with Alec Guinness, Peter Cushing, and Christopher Lee. So yes, all very distinguished actors, but those guys are character actors. And so yes, we've seen Christopher Lee play Dracula how many times? We've seen Peter Cushing play Van Helsing how many times? We've seen, Alec Guinness how many times? But the thing is, when you talk about them, they are distinguished, men who also play specific characters. Whereas Machete, you just see him and it's like, yeah, he's been in how many B-level movies and it's just Machete. It's just also, you see him and you don't remember what?
Oh, sorry, I didn't know. I didn't mean to cut you off. But I was just saying there was. It's okay. I was saying there's also with Alec Guinness and Peter Cushing, especially, you're talking about guys who really flop genres to be in a Star Wars movie. And Christopher Lee, sci-fi was definitely out of his element. And when that happens, it's like putting, all right, Frodo, Elijah Wood was a child actor and was in a bazillion and one things before he played Frodo in Lord of the Rings. But he had never done anything like that.
It's more direct-to-video Star Wars now, 100%.
100%. But Elijah Wood had never done anything to the scale or reach or style of Frodo of Lord of the Rings before he got cast in that. And so you don't have the same even someone like Christopher Lee, who is an actor I recognize, probably the most recognizable person to pop up in the prequels for me. Sure. It's still, again, because he's also a character actor being used in another character role, you don't go, oh my God, it's this iconic character. It's Brad Pitt. As like that, to me, this is like, even though he's done more different things and you don't think of him from one role, it would be as jarring as if Brad Pitt were standing there. Because you're like, oh my God, it's Brad Pitt. You don't think of him as like, oh, the character from this. Christopher Lee, as iconic as he was as a human being and as recognizable as he was as a person on his own, when you saw a movie Christopher Lee was in, you weren't like, oh my God, there's Christopher Lee. You saw the character he played. He was transformative. He disappeared into the role. Alec Guinness, the same. That's why they asked him to be a space wizard. And that's why he was so resistant, because it was so out of his wheelhouse, but why it worked. There's nothing about, now I could be completely wrong, and maybe fucking Machete was the perfect choice for the supporting character, but I sincerely doubt that there's some magical character flair that Danny Trejo brings to the table that made him the perfect choice for this guy, in this moment, and that, and that the jarringness of having Machete show up in Boba Fett isn't, worth whatever magical spark esteemed actor Danny Trejo brings to the fucking table. I mean, come on.
Well, let me put it to you this way. When you see Peter Cushing in Star Wars, you don't immediately, it doesn't take you out of the movie going, oh my gosh, that's Peter Cushing. Obviously, you recognize him when you see that he's, it doesn't take you out of the movie. You're like, oh, he's just this bad guy in this movie. Same with Christopher Lee. Same with Alec Guinness. It's like, well, Alec Guinness obviously wasn't a bad guy. But it's like, oh, okay, they're playing. It doesn't take you out of the movie, right? The second you see Machete, it immediately takes you out, at least in my experience. When I saw this picture, I'm like, what the hell? Like, is this real? Like, what's going on kind of thing? I think... At least that's just my opinion, is if if it takes you out of the viewer experience, I think that that's the issue. And for you to go, what the fuck, why is Machete in this movie? Well, I think this episode was directed by Robert Rodriguez, correct? So I'm like, oh, is it Spy Kids? Like, that's the joke I've been seeing going around. But so the reason why it's titled, the stream is titled like this, which we're finally getting to, is so I saw this picture and this was my reaction. This can't be real. As you can imagine, I triggered somebody to the point where they had to lecture me about the fact that I'm not a Star Wars fan or that I don't know very much about Star Wars. Kitty cat.
Yeah. That's
Kitty
what?
cat.
Where did... Oh, Kitty. I was like, what? Where did you go? And there's Han Boy. What you doing? He has this thing now where like a couple times a day, if I'm sitting over here, earlier on my stream too, he was like, I'm just on your lap now. It's just where I am. It's what we're doing and it's how we're doing it. I'm like, all right.
Angel Cheng, thank you for the super chat. I think Danny Trejo's BFFs with the director. Yeah, he is. They're really good friends. Okay, so I'll write as I take him off. So I said this can't be real, and I get this. Hold up, whoa. Hate train. The hate train, just a moment. I know it's cool to hate Disney Star Wars. I loathe the last two films just as much as the next guy. Rancors being ridden and cared for by Night Sisters along with close bond comes direct from the old books of the EU 1994. And then they continued with this. Also, how Jabba got his Rancor and how it was trained, where also close bond was made with its trainer who's crying in Return of the Jedi after dying, is in the EU book. Hey! So let's not complain about Disney Star Wars while showing a limited knowledge of Star Wars, because someone will call you on it.
I just love the presumptuousness of this person assuming...
This was my response. Really? It's like, and here's the thing. Here's my real book. This is from Google.
Yeah.
The picture they used was from Google. Now, I would like everyone to know, I do have the other book. I just can't find it right now because I'm buried in boxes. This just happened to be on the bookshelf next to my bed because I actually really like this Star Wars book. And it's Courtship of Princess Leia. I have it on my phone as well in my ebooks. I just had it out because I had it in one of my purses. So yeah, random person. But so it's like, okay, so this person got mad at a one sentence tweet with like 4 words, and apparently I have a limited knowledge of Star Wars, Jesse.
Right. That's just my favorite part about this. It's like you extrapolated all that from one very vague tweet that didn't really tell you anything about how Anna actually felt about this shit. So it's good on you.
That is not what I said. That isn't so. Owning a book means you know everything in it now. Okay. When did I say that? Please explain to me. Get me the clip of when I said that. That's funny because I didn't. Not to get a little snappy, but it's like, I have read this book. It's the fact that me looking at a ridiculous picture, which is this, immediate, and me having one sentence to say about it. LO, I'm just messing with you, Anna. Okay, cool. I've just had a lot of, I'm just irritated because there's a lot of idiots on Twitter today that are just like, read the books! And it's like, you do realize Disney threw away the books, right? Like they said that they were legends.
Exactly.
But no, it's like, okay, because of that, apparently I have a limited knowledge of Star Wars. And it's like this account that I clicked on it and to see what it was, because I'm like, I don't even know who this person is, but I'm like, they're following me. So, it's like, if you're going to be a like I said in this tweet, if you're going to be a condescending cunt every single time you disagree with me, then don't fucking follow me. It's that simple, But so this person has like an online store of collectibles. And I'm like, well, now I know I'm never going to shop at your store because you're a fucking asshole. Because you didn't like that I looked at this picture and I was like, what the fuck? A picture is worth 1,000 words, But because I said this can't be real, machetes in Star Wars, like what?
Yeah, well, but this guy knew that you were talking about somebody having an emotional connection with the Rancor, Anna, obviously, Anna, your problem with this image is that it hints at somebody having an emotional connection to a Rancor, Anna, and that's obviously your problem and your only problem with this and why you're wrong. So you can't say anything else because I know, because I read your tweet, and so I know, and so you're wrong. So
there's the tweet we're talking about. And I should have put all of these in the description. When I re-upload this stream onto my secondary channel, I'll have all the links for these tweets if you guys want to look at it yourself. Yeah, I had to, because I was like, I retweeted the other one, but typically when I retweet someone, they tend to delete their tweet, so I had to get screenshots of it. But I'm just like, how Anna needs a Twitter break. I did have a Twitter break. That's why when I came back to it, I'm just like, how does this was my first response then before I saw them say that I had a limited knowledge of Star Wars, because so they tweeted this at me first and then they responded to themselves with this, and it's like nothing I said contradicted the fact that the Rancor trainer before loved his pet. We all saw that he did. We all saw him cry when his pet died. That was kind of the funny thing about it, is that it's a monster. It's like fucking Tiger King. It's like Joe Exotic. Loving his fucking tigers, right? It doesn't change the fact that a tiger is a dangerous animal to have as a pet, right? So I was like, really? How does me thinking that, one, it doesn't make sense in my mind for Boba Fett to do this. Two, what the fuck is Machete doing there? How is this image real? Like, I'm so confused, again, as somebody that hasn't seen the show yet. But that equals... you have a limited knowledge of Star Wars. Is that where this is? It's one of these somewhere in here. Where is it? Right here. Yeah. You have a limited knowledge of Star Wars. It's like, how?
Okay, it's at Silent KNI7. Okay, if he hasn't already blocked me for some reason, I'm just gonna bother this guy because I think he's stupid.
No, don't bother him. Leave the guy alone. The guy's just a troll. And even Data Racer commented when I posted this about Yessie. They've been in my mentions all day screaming about books too. Ignore them. Yeah, and I don't even think they've responded to me, because that's what these people do, especially to me. Please don't bother him, Jesse.
I won't. I just kind of want to see what his
that's exactly what they do, though, is that they do this stuff for attention. And so it's like, oh, read the books, read the books. Well, I mean, here's the thing. Books can be good. Books can be bad. I've read plenty of bad books in my life. Holy hand grenade, I'm going to delete that, because don't even fucking comment that, because then you're going to get me in trouble, because somebody's going to take one screenshot.
Don't say this shit. Someone's going to screenshot that and be like, Anna endorsed this and she's the devil.
I know.
Oh, guys,
Yeah,
did
so
you
don't
hear
even
that?
say that. No, and you know what's funny is that's not the only person that I've seen that's going crazy about this. I'm like, I never said you can't like the episode. I never said you had to hate the episode. I know, holy hand grenade, I know it was a joke, but the last thing I really want right now is somebody to take one screenshot with me and Jesse in the title of this the title of this live stream, and a big screenshot of your thing saying that. Just please don't. And if my mom see anyone else saying that, even as a joke, just delete it, please, because I really don't need that.
Like that all you want on my channel, because I literally don't give a shit about anything. So if you guys want to
I get headaches very easily, so I don't.
By all means, do not bother Anna. But if you guys want all no holds barred, say whatever you want in the chat, kind of shit, come over to my channel. We have a lot of fun. We're not nice over there. We do have people. We do have Andy McCallum over there reminding people regularly that we are only the mindless mob in name. And so when we say things like, we are going to put a hit on you, we're not actually serious, and we do not want anyone to actually put hits on. So we do remind you that we're just kidding, but we don't stop you from making the death threats. So there you go.
Ooh, I got a link from Cecil saying the Boba Fett stuff is a ripoff from the movie Quadrophenia. The mods rode tricked out Vespas and greasers rode Triumph motorcycles. Let's look at this. Oh my God. Yeah, so I just thought that was funny, because that's not the only person that I saw read about this.
I gotta say, it's interesting. While I commend everybody in the chat for being mature in the way you're expressing your opinions, there are a number of people in the chat that are going to bat for the show, actually, that do seem to enjoy it and are saying you got to see it in context. And some of the stuff, some people are saying it's as stupid as it seems. Some people who watch it are corroborating what we feel, and other people feel differently. Other people say it works. So thing is, by all means, if you feel differently from us and you disagree, power to you.
Yeah, but there's plenty of people that argued that Aquaman was the best movie ever and wanted to die on the hill against me. And there's plenty of people that said Mandalorian was the best show of all time. And I'm just like, what on earth? Sal Avenue, thank you, super chat. Well, Anna, you're not watching the show. Maybe this limited knowledge vibe comes from that. Once you see the show, you might feel different. I don't think that has to do with that. This person was definitely taking a jab that I'm a fake geek girl kind of thing. And again, my reaction was more so for Machete. I don't care if Boba Fett is petting rancors. I really don't. I mean, it could have been, you know, drugged up and he's like, I'm going to pet this rancor while it's on anesthesia, you know? Like, that would be my initial thought. I've not seen the show, but it was really condescending. And it's like, look at the books. Look at the books. Considering if this person had ever actually watched my channel and my content, they know I have plenty of Star Wars books. But the whole, I'm going to check you, which was specifically in this comment, you know, because someone will call you on it. Like, you're also showing limited knowledge of Star Wars because someone will call you on it. It'd be different if they say, oh, you know, you haven't seen the episode, so I'm going to call you on that. That'd be different. But this person is specifically trying to call out me and my Star Wars knowledge when it's like, I've been that Star Wars girl my entire life, even before I had a YouTube channel. So this was a person going out of their way to be a petty asshole, you know? And it's like, ooh, I got you. And it's like, I don't have to use a pic from Google for my books, dude.
Also,
sorry.
You're talking about, you're using canon that the people who made the shows have told you are not canon anymore to justify the shit in the shows. Mental gymnastics much?
Look at how many...
That's a lot of mirrors. I guess you want all of the views.
Yeah, this is what Cecil said they took from that it's a ripoff. Okay.
Longevity, we're not trashing the show. We are questioning the thing. The thing is, this is the mistake that people have made, right? This is, everyone wants to get so reactionary and use every new line and new metric. Oh, you're not allowed to talk about it because you haven't seen it. No, we're not talking about the show or the quality of the show. We're not disparaging the things that happened in it that we haven't seen. We are disparaging the images that we have seen. That's all. We are merely saying, I have seen still images from this show that I do not like. I don't need the context to dislike them for the reasons that I'm currently disliking them. I'm not speculating about the content and disparaging that. I'm commenting on shit I'm actually seeing. Okay, like that's, people need to fucking understand that you can't just grab the newest button word every time you get upset with the way the conversation's going and you can no longer hang in the argument. You can't just move the goalpost because that's the way it always was. Well, I don't want to see it. Well, don't see it because it's not for you. Well, fine, then I won't see it because it's not for me. Well, then don't talk about it because you haven't seen it. Well, I won't talk about it because I haven't seen it. Well, I'm not talking about it. I'm talking about images I've seen from it. I'm describing the actual pictures, and no one so far is telling us that the images that we've seen and are describing are wrong. That we are wrong, that any of the things that we've actually said about it are wrong. All you're telling us is that we may feel differently if we have different contexts. You're not saying that our current take based on our current context is in any way inaccurate or wrong. So there you go. I can fucking talk about whatever I want to. It's the fun part about being alive. Also, the fun thing is we're not speculating or commenting on things that we haven't seen. So if you want to learn,
well, no, we're talking about imagery, but I mean, you can have the best looking movie in the entire world and it be a shit movie. So you also have to think about it. An image is worth, or, you know, picture's worth 1,000 words. There's a reason for that. And so when I see an image from a Star Wars, and you can do this with every single Star Wars movie. Heck, you can do this with Empire Strikes Back. Get a random screen grab from the movie and post it and see how people react to it. Exactly. And so this is my reaction to the images that I saw. And yeah, maybe it might be a little bit different if I heard the story. Maybe it might be 1,000 times worse. Exactly. You know?
But I don't need to know the context of the episode to know that I don't like the set design.
That's exactly. And the same thing with The Mandalorian. I didn't like the set. I think the best set design that they had was the planet where they had the ships, the one where we got to meet Bo-Katan. I liked that. It actually looked like it was being used. It looked like it was at the docks and stuff, because I think that they actually did film part of that at some. So yeah, just looking at it, looking at the bikes and stuff and saying, wow, this really looks out of fucking place in Star Wars. I don't think either of us are wrong for looking at that face value and saying that, you know, just like as if we saw Queen Amidala in episode 1 and being like, wow, her hair is fucking crazy. That's an intense costume. We can both look at that and say that. And then once you see,
sorry, I just want to tell you, Soul, I haven't had any of the candy. I have tics. I have tics. It's a neurological thing that happens that sometimes makes my face twitch. So that's what you're making fun of. Just want you to know. Just letting you know. Sorry, someone would say my face was twitching. Yeah, it does. It has tics because it's of neurological issues. So it's a thing. So
is he talking about you or me though?
I'm assuming me because of the candy behind me and shit. But
whenever I see stuff with candy, I always assume
because of the fact that I am having facial tics today. So yeah, that's what you're making fun of, asshole. Just wanted you to know. Carry on.
I completely lost my train of thought.
Oh yeah, you're talking about the docs looking used, but nothing in this looking like it's lived in, right? And I think that was a problem. I agree that was a problem with The Mandalorian, where a lot of the sets look far too digital, like designed. You know, it's there's this thing that happens with the digital landscapes where they design a beautiful digital landscape and they never take the step to like fully rendering it so that it looks real. You know, it still lives somewhere in this beautiful concept art land. And it yeah, anyway.
Well, I mean, can you think, like, okay, so one movie that was like a massive, massive flop at the box office was Valerian. And so that movie, they spent so much money on special effects. It looks visually stunning, but it was a huge flop. Personally, I didn't even want to see it because of the actors in it. I didn't care for the main guy or girl that was in it. I was like, ooh, Clive Owen. And then I know some people were controversial about Rihanna being in it. But so that movie, it's beautiful. You can tell that they blew their budget on the visual effects, which is also, you know, the movie didn't do well at all. And so you can have, there's the other side of the hat right here, where this, I don't think it looks good. I haven't seen it yet, so I don't know if you know, the show's actually there. But again, I'm grading this on a curve based on the other stuff that I've seen, you know, with what Disney Star Wars has been doing. And so me looking at it and being like, why the fuck is Machete there? I don't think, you know, contradicts my Star Wars knowledge in any way, shape, or form. But there's a lot of people that have been reading about it.
Anna,
now,
if you had read the fan fiction that I wrote when I was 17, you would know that Machete totally is best friends with Boba Fett. Like, oh my god.
Yeah, well, see, that's not exactly the argument. The argument is the books and stuff, which, you know, they have been trying to bring in the expanded universe. Like with when we were talking about Mandalorian season 2.
How do you feel about that? Because that is something they've been really hardcore doing and pushing for since Mando season 2. And the thing is, this is with approval from the top down, you know? This is not what people want to think, that somehow Favreau is sneakily, subversively brought all this EU stuff in here without Kathleen Kennedy's approval. It is. And so I don't know. I've like very mixed feelings about being told that all of the EU is bullshit, fuck you, no extended universe, and then having them suddenly turn around. It's like, again, it feels like bullshit because it feels like they're telling me, ignore this, forget about it, blah, blah, blah. So when we want to just take all those stories and literally just recycle versions of them, we don't have to be faithful to any of the details because it's not really canon anymore, but we can just lazily recycle and reuse stories without having to write, you know, create anything new. Like, to me, it's like, you had to do one or the other. You either had to acknowledge and embrace, you know, the EU and honor it when you bring it to the screen, or you had to say we're moving on from it and actually do the work of building a new universe. And I don't feel like they've done either. And I feel like, again, where they just leave us in this middle limbo place where they can sort of try to grab at you with member berries when it's convenient, but then also say fuck you to the canon when it's not, you know? I don't know how you
Well,
feel about
that's funny that you say that because the episode of Mandalorian season 2 that was EU heavily based is one that you really liked.
it. Which one?
The one with the dragon egg where they had to kill it and they got the pearl. So that is actually an entire plot and boss that you have to defeat.
Yeah, you told me
in
that was
KOTOR.
from KOTOR, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And that made me like it less. Once you told me that, it actually did make me like it less. Knowing that was just
well, so everything that I've seen people talking about, so I guess they're in the second episode, or maybe it's the first episode, I'm not exactly sure, but where Boba Fett goes and he's with the Tusken Raiders and he does like a little dance and I guess they expand upon the stories of their culture. Now, again, that is a big plot in KOTOR. And that's one of the things that Revan has to do. Revan has to either go in and kill all the Tusken Raiders or get information from them so that way they can help him defeat this, the dragon. And so he does, and you get to go and talk to the storyteller of the tribe, and there's this whole other subplot about how there's aliens that actually terraformed Tatooine, because Tatooine used to be this lush vegetated planet, and these aliens came in and ruined it, and the Tusken Raiders actually were the original inhabitants of Tatooine, and that's why they hate outsiders, because they remember the aliens that came and ruined their planet. And so that's this whole other tiny little subplot that you have to do all these special things to be able to get access to in the game, because it's an RPG game. And so when I saw people kind of losing their mind over that, I'm like, yeah, but that's from KOTOR. But the problem, I think, is it's not that you can't use the EU, it's, are you using it for token points, and are you doing it well? That's my issue. If you're going to take these great things that other people laid out before you, are you going to do it well, or are you just going to bring it in so you can fuck it up, but you brought it in for, like you said, memberberry points?
And I honestly think that unless you're actually remaining faithful to the canon throughout your usage of the character or the plot line or whatever, that you are ultimately just cashing in on the member berries at some point. And I think you can make the parallel, like this is where I think you draw an interesting parallel to something like Marvel, right? Where Marvel draws heavily from its comic storylines, but it changes them. It waters them down and sanitizes them for it's a broader audience, a less niche audience. And the difference is Marvel has not turned its back on any of these things. So when Marvel wants to adapt elements of Civil War from the comics to bring into elements of whatever, and I'm speaking very loosely. I don't know the comics. I learned so much of what Marvel, all the stuff with Marvel. And I can't remember the plot line that it is, but I know all the Thanos plot lines that they're borrowed very, very heavily from the comic, but it's not, but whatchamacallit, but it's not, it's not done one-to-one. There are characters that are left out. There are elements that are left out because you're condensing years and years and decades long, meandering multiple comic long plot lines into one central timeline. But again, you're adapting your own work. You're honoring your own work. You're also paying royalties to the people who created these things, and that's its own field, and not everyone gets their just dues. But again, now you're talking about people who you've decanonized their work, who you've said, fuck you, your shit doesn't matter anymore. It's not really Star Wars. But we're going to poach all of your ideas, by the way, and give you nothing for it, to steal all of your work, all of your ideas, and utilize it to tell our own stories. And that's what's happening. I'm just like, there is a level of shittiness to that too. Because you're talking about the Star Wars extended universe is not created by contracted writers until Disney got a hold of it. It was not a network created by contracted writers and artists who were, unified under one vision. It was people with ideas who wanted to create them, who got the nod of approval. And so to take their creations, take their inspiration, their IPs, basically, to give them no credit, no accolades, no residuals whatsoever, and just steal their work and pass it off as your own, basically. To me, there is something fucked up about that, and I really haven't been okay with it, you know, and I'm not. I don't think it's right to tell everybody the EU's gone and then to turn around and essentially plagiarize your own canon, you know?
Well, I mean, I don't really think it's plagiarizing it because they're not claiming that, at least I haven't seen Dave Filoni or Jon Favreau claim that it's theirs. I think maybe they're taking credit for being the first ones to bring it to the screen, which technically they are because it hasn't, you know, been in a movie yet, or, you know, especially, you know, with the dragon, or obviously Sand People have. But again, I would need to see this show to see, like the whole thing with bringing Bo-Katan. I know Bo-Katan, but I like saying Katan. I know I'm one of those bad people that pronounces the name wrong. But with her,
who created the character Bo-Katan? Who actually created?
Dave Filoni. Dave Filoni.
Okay, so that's
Dave Filoni and George Lucas. So yeah. I believe, yeah.
Now that's, to me, with Filoni and the Mandalorian, that becomes a little different. That, to me, it's not, you know, it's not cheap and it's not stealing in the same way, but it is lazy where you're using your own stuff. But if you take a character that somebody else invented in the Star Wars universe and you utilize it and you put it on the screen and you don't, you know, give that person a royalty check, you're stealing their character. If you take a plot line like from KOTOR, you know, and you put a subplot from KOTOR into your episode without a nod in the episode that this is based off of work by so-and-so, without giving credit or some level of whatever to the person who created that storyline, then you are plagiarizing from them, you know, whether or not they're protected because of the complications of Star Wars copyright. And that's the whole thing. Maybe legally you're not protected under copyright, but we all understand the differences between somebody who, you know, okay, is doing some fan art or whatnot and doesn't have any rights to it and blah, and someone who creates a sanctioned piece of EU with the blessing of the maker, and then someone else goes, ooh, this seems great, let me just lift this and give you no fucking credit. We all recognize that as plagiarism. Whether or not it's,
let me see, Cycle G, they're getting paid for that. Well, here's the thing we already found out is, oh my god, Anderson, I can't,
the KOTOR guy, right?
No, not KOTOR. So in the very first Star Wars EU book, they talk about kyber crystals, and that's where, you know, it's first, because they don't mention it in the movies. It's first mentioned in the book, and he is not getting any royalties. Disney actually stopped giving him royalties for writing the very first Star Wars EU book. And it's covered over on Orville Nason's channel. Why am I blanking on his name? God, I feel terrible. But so, you know, he's an elderly gentleman, and he actually, you know, there's a whole article. I've done videos on it here on my channel about how he's not getting credit for it, even though Disney is selling kyber crystals, which they owe 100%. Well, I mean, obviously he worked with George Lucas, but he's the one that first coined it in Star Wars. But they're selling those all over the place at their theme parks and their stores, on their online stores. I think maybe possibly, I haven't checked disneystore.com recently, but the kyber crystals, and Christopher Prophet actually sent me some, which I appreciate it, because I'm very much against, you know, buying some of these things from Disney. But so these that they're selling, I don't know how much they're selling them for because I've never bought any, but they're selling these at Disneyland, right? And obviously they're selling them online, unless Christopher Prophet went specifically to Disneyland to buy these. He's not getting any royalties, even though he's technically the one that created them in the books, right? I don't know if they credited any. I could go probably pull up the credits right now and look if they credited the KOTOR guys for what they did, you know, with the Sand People and stuff like that. I don't know if they did or not. I don't know if those people, even if they got credit, are getting paid for what they created. But that's kind of a big thing. Like, even Ethan kind of talks about this a little bit. Like, if you worked for Marvel, you say goodbye to royalties. You're not getting anything. If you worked for DC, DC's actually kind of decent about paying their artists and their creators royalties. But which one of those is owned by Disney? Marvel. I wouldn't be surprised if they're not paying people for it.
No, it's been well known that Star Wars has always been very complicated with its copyrights, etc. too, and that Disney has been very good at stomping out the little guy, basically, and taking the rights away from the little guy. They were, I mean, Lucasfilm, and this is before Disney too, honestly. This was the Lucasfilm legal department expanded massively in the 90s or whatever it was when they shut down all the bootleg international toy production. And it really, like, they really, I mean, that's back George Lucas era thing. He was very, very aggressive about protecting his copyright, and was very, very stingy about giving any of those rights away. And that's one of those things, man. You want to talk about honoring a legacy? The one part of George Lucas's legacy that Disney has honored to a fucking T, to a goddamn fault, is being stingy ass motherfuckers with their intellectual property and with their money. So there you go.
Well, George was particularly, hard about that because he got all the profit from the freaking toys. Like, that's why he became a billionaire, was because of the Star Wars toys. Do you actually have any Star Wars bootleg toys? Because I do.
I do. Actually, one of my proudest ones. I have to glue it back together though, because it's currently snapped in half, thanks Shit Pancake. But it's like a 6-inch executor class Star Destroyer.
Oh, how funny. One of my friends was actually in the Philippines, and he brought me back. It's like a little box, but it's like little Star Wars figures, and they look, the LOL dolls, like for kids nowadays. They're kind of body shaped like that, but it's like Darth Vader and Stormtrooper. So it's funny. But they saw that in the Philippines and got it for me, and I'm like, yeah, totally bootleg Star Wars toys. Yeah. So it's fun.
This one's a cool one. This one was like because they only made the micro, size of the ships, of a lot of these ships, or the giant ones in Lego. And so they were making like legit, I mean, this is beautiful quality, a really, really gorgeous piece from Rio. It came from Rio, but it is illegal. Super illegal.
Well, guys, we've gotten up to the 2-hour mark, which is where we usually like to cut the show. I'm gonna read a couple more super chats, and then they wanted you to watch this one video. Let me find it, and God, it's gonna be nailed on a chalkboard.
Your name and image, between your name and your icon, you're just my new friend. Because he clearly likes weed and bacon, and so I like weed and bacon. So weed and bacon is my new friend.
Let me read some of these super chats. But yeah, basically calling out me for not having Star Wars knowledge when I'm literally reacting to a photo that shows your lack of intelligence, not mine, I think. And I just thought it was funny. But there's other people that are reading. It's funny what people get up in arms about versus what people, like what hill people will die on. And like, that's the hill you chose to die on, really?
It's that cognitive dissonance. It's somebody who hated all of the Disney stuff until now has finally found a Disney property that they like, and so they are super duper sensitive because they understand it's deep down in the core level. They understand how hypocritical it is for them to be going so ham on this new show after being so angry and whatever and blah before, and they can't live the universe where they're like, oh, fuck you, Disney, I won't blah blah blah, where they've stood on some because they made some sort of moral, moral proclamations during the sequel era that now they can't live with themselves as they renege and all like this show, so they have to fucking cognitive dissonance their way down anyone's throat who dares disparage their new precious baby.
Stephen Kraft, thank you for the super chat. Happy New Year, Jesse and Anna. May Boba Fett become more of a badass as the series progresses. See, right off the bat, when you're saying that he's not even starting off of it as a badass, makes me kind of lose any hope I had.
Also, Happy New Year, Stephen Kraft. I hope
Happy New Year. Jeremy Permentor, thank you for the super chat. I'm new to your channel, but crap, you are talented. Oh, thank you. Also, as for cute little aliens, I freaking love Grogu. His name is Baby Yoda. But yeah, he's cute. You want to see how extra I am? I got a bassinet for my Baby Yoda, and I put my other Yodas in there with him. This is how extra I am.
My fencing student got me a little tiny baby. Oh wait, I have to show it to you. It's too precious. Let me see if I can reach it, because I can't reach it. It's a little speaker, and it's just Baby Yoda's head, and it's got the little froggy.
I think you sent it to me. I think you showed me a picture.
Maybe I did. I probably did because I was excited.
He's so cute.
It's Baby Yoda. And
let me see. Patrick T, thank you for the super chat. Boba Fett. Fettuccine is Star Wars character salad for toddlers. Oh no. Let's see. Silver Nova, thank you for super chat. So glad to see stellar ladies of the matriarchy. Best wishes for another crazy year, Anna and Jesse. Smiley face. Oh, well, thank you.
Thanks, Silver Nova. Hopefully not too.
I hope you have a good year as well, and we are excited to see how things progress. Hopefully, this year is not as crazy as the previous. Andy McCallum, thank you for super chat. All hail the mindless mob.
Mindless mob. Andy McCallum is our town whore and my right hand man and a lot of other things. So
there you go.
Hand man, not man.
Dragon Water, thank you for super chat. Thank you for being awesome and creating great content. I think we were trying to type creating, but interesting adding a W in the middle. Thank you. Mark Wilkins, thank you for the super chat. I love the new Boba Fett show, but what's with the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Bike Rangers debut? We have no idea. I'll find out once the show is over, I guess in 6 weeks, and get back to you. But now I've caught up on super chats. Jesse, I'm going to torture your ears for a moment, so I sincerely apologize. You're going to be able to see from my tweet right here. This is what, let me make this bigger. This is what I've said. If this makes you feel any better, I couldn't even finish this. You can make a point without being completely insufferable.
I'm already upset by her face. Like, just the expression that's being made.
Here's the tweet right here if you guys want to watch along if it starts tweaking out, and I'll put it in the private chat, Jesse, for me and you. But so, yeah, I don't know what the hell's wrong with her teeth. Her front teeth are, like...
wrong.
I don't know. Maybe she just had dental surgery or something, but they're, like...
they're wrong.
Brownish. Like, I don't understand. Like, I'm just like, couldn't you bleach those before you started? But
she's at the pre-falling out stage of meth rot.
You think so?
Maybe.
But it's weird because her other teeth look kind of normal, but and here's my thing. I try not to judge on appearances, but yeah.
I guess
so this is what somebody brought up earlier and they wanted our thoughts, or else I really didn't want to bring this up. I haven't been able to make it through this damn thing, but are you ready to watch this, Jesse?
I'm ready to try.
Sexism in gaming. In joining G4...
This is not where I thought we were.
I'm going to put my headphones in so that way there's no echo and I can still like talk with you. But yeah, so one of the things that I love is how when you want claps and there's like 2 people clapping.
Right.
I find it funny.
I always get a kick out of that.
All right, here we go.
I'm here.
I had no idea.
I'm listening. Yeah.
In joining G4, I was ecstatic to be part of something that I grew up watching as a child. But every time G4 is brought up in various channels, even in this YouTube channel, we have the chat in front of us. I can see you. Without a doubt, there will be backlash because I'm not as bangable as the previous hosts. It's somehow...
Oh, my God.
See, this just tells me that she's really insecure.
The first time I ever went on the High Council, actually both the times I was on the High Council before it became Jeff's show, I got crazy hate from that. And to the point where like I pointedly was like, I'm actually not going to even ask to go back on the High Council because clearly there's a large portion of the audience there that isn't there for me. I didn't freak out. I didn't cry. I didn't run and scream and make videos about how unfair it is that you guys won't let me in your club and you don't want to bang me as much as somebody else and you won't let a woman with opinions talk. And no, I just went, cool. Here's an audience that doesn't really like what I've got. So I'm not going to really make a point to sell myself to that audience. I'm going to go over here where people like me. And if I'm going to stay, if I'm going to go, I found myself many times in her position on a stream somewhere where the chat is hostile. And man, it's not fun. But there are 2 ways to handle it. There's one, realizing that you will win no points by whining and crying about how pathetic you are. And that you can either just hang and do your best, maybe try to course correct. Maybe if you're really smart, Try to actually read between the lines, read between the hatred, because somewhere in there is positive feedback. Somewhere in there are a bunch of people that you want to like you. You want to like you, telling you why they don't like you. And if you really want them to like you, if you're not like me and you don't just go, okay, you don't like me, fuck you, suck a dick, then okay, listen to them. Because the only way to get them to like you is not to tell them to fuck off and go away and only let people who like you watch, is to figure out what sucks about you and get better, like the rest of us do. The rest of us don't take the spotlight we are so lucky to have been given and use it to whine and cry that not enough people love us. Boo fucking who, lady? Also, try being more bangable, maybe. I don't know.
Well, I mean, I don't really think that's the issue here, because I don't think anyone really watches, and I know a lot of people don't like Ellen DeGeneres, but I mean, I didn't, when her show clips come on, I mean, before I found out, what she was kind of like as a human, I liked her show. If I did see clips of it and stuff, I was like, well, I'm not going to go out of my way to watch it, but if it's on YouTube for free, and it comes up and I have nothing else to do, I'll check it out. But when it comes, and I mean, I don't think anyone looks at Ellen DeGeneres and thinks, wow, she's not bangable. It's like, okay, yeah, she's a comedian. Like, this chick seems to be going for, I mean, that kind of aesthetic and that kind of vibe, but she's not funny and she's kind of insufferable. So if you don't want people to sexualize you, that's completely fine. And if you don't want to be treated in that way, that's completely fine. But the way that she's doing it, it comes off as she's very unpleasant. I should have put this in my tweet, but I didn't, because I feel like people react better when I have a shorter tweet versus a longer tweet. And it's like, you'll catch more flies with honey than with vinegar. If you're uncomfortable with the fact that you don't like people in the chat saying you're not as hot as the last chick that we had on. It's like, well, the last chick, I believe, was the chick that they found at Comic-Con because she was in a Slave Leia costume and she's famous for shoving a bunch of hot dogs in her mouth. It's like, yes, you guys have completely different vibes. If she was just the chill, kind of laid back, funny nerd,
it'd be funny.
I mean, I don't think anyone would, obviously people aren't, there's a lot of stupid people out there, don't get me wrong, but people aren't dumb. They can see that you have a different vibe than her. And yeah, there's going to be people that are mean at first. Everyone gets that, no matter what you look like, no matter how fuckable you think somebody is. Everyone gets backlashed. Every single person gets backlash. The way that she's approaching it just comes off as Karen and you're very insecure.
I didn't know she followed a Slave Leia hot dog stuffing slut. Dude, that was like, what the hell are you? What is she whining about? God.
Oh, yeah, let me see. People posted pictures.
What a gift. If you're that, like, look, I'm very secure about what I got and what I got going on. I don't give a shit. And the only person who actually, it matters to me finds me very desirable. So yeah, I'm good. I'm good.
This is the chick that she followed.
But even if I were to follow somebody whose gimmick was being sexy and slutty, dude, what a fucking gift, though. Oh my God, especially if you look like that, if you look like her, if you're as unseemly as that chick with those fucking teeth following this girl, oh my God, instead of feeling bad for yourself because you can't fit 8 hot dogs in your mouth while having a completely flat stomach, maybe you could make a joke about it, because dear God, if there's anything that guys find relatable, it's a relatable person talking about how unrelatable a ridiculously attractive slutty woman is. Like nerd culture, nerd people. Like
pause real fast. Sorry. Hey, Pastor Flesh, what's going on? It says why timeout for that. What is going on with people getting timed out? I saw something earlier with my mods saying like, hey, you don't need a timeout for that. Can one of my mods please explain to me what is going on? Because that's the second time I've seen somebody, question another mod's timeout. So if you're one of my new mods, I have a rule. Okay, it says, what happened? What happened? Let me see. Most of her said I screwed up. Oops. Okay, if it was an accident, then that's fine. Yeah, I do that all the time. where I'm watching a live stream, but I'm watching on my phone, and I put my phone in my pocket, and I accidentally banned someone from it. I've had
Dr.
that
Coffee
happen
was
before.
Felt so bad because one of his kids accidentally blocked somebody on my channel.
No, I accidentally did that. I blocked someone from Drunk 3PO's channel, and I was like, ah, fuck. And somebody let me know because I didn't know that I was doing it, because I was like cleaning, and I had it on my I had it on my phone, and I had it in my pocket. My butt pushed something, so I was like, ah, fuck. That happened. I need to stop watching live streams or not have the chat open when I'm walking.
What a message! I'm sorry, my butt canceled you by accident.
I know. Well, no, I got a comment or somebody messaged me. They're like, Anna, did this person do something wrong because you blocked her? And I was like, what? I'm like, no, it was an accident. So yeah, sorry about that. But all right, let's finish this. I think we were like right here. All right. Yeah, all this tells me though is that this chick is incredibly insecure. But here we go.
I'm listening. Yeah.
In joining G4, I was ecstatic to be part of something that I grew up watching as a child.
God, we already watched the part.
Brought up in very
voice too. I feel like she's
YouTube channel.
Trying to make
We have the chat in front of us. I can see you. Without a doubt, there will be backlash because I'm not as bangable as the previous host. It's somehow
Talk to him, Frost.
It has somehow been expected that you can talk about how much you jerked off to women as a compliment.
That
It's
shit
not
weird.
a compliment.
It's weird.
It's dehumanizing.
You didn't really need to bring this up. I like how it's so awkward because she's sitting with two guys and then one guy on a computer and they're all clapping. It's like, you do realize that I'm pretty sure, I mean, I don't know if these guys are gay, straight, whatever floats their boat, but I'm pretty sure, they've all done something to something. So it's like this is your debut and this is what you decide to talk about. I don't know.
You want to talk about the fact that it upsets you that as a woman on the internet, men overshare their sexual fantasies. So, okay, hold on though. Pause, by the way, because she just said that it's a problem. It's a problem that people are upset that she's not as bangable as the other chick, but it's also not appropriate for them to talk about how much they've jerked off to her. So are they talking about how they've jerked off to her? Or is she upset because they're only talking about how they jerked off to Hot Dog Chick? Is that the problem?
I think she has a problem with everything, and
I think she's upset that they're talking about how much they jerked off to Hot Dog Chick and they didn't jerk off to her. That seems like what her problem is.
Well, let's find out. I don't think I got much farther than this.
Well, the mystery
And it's weird. Women do not exist to be nice on the eyes for you. Morgan Webb, Olivia Munn did not exist to be nice on the eyes for you.
Like her screaming this at the camera, it's like, I'm a woman that's not attracted in any way, shape, or form to other women. If this went on a TV, I would have already changed the channel. I don't need Karen to scream at me.
What if we die and find out that Olivia Munn really was put on Earth to be easy on the eyes for everyone?
You don't judge me. I don't know who
outside
Olivia
the realm
Munn
of possibility. Huh?
Who is Olivia Munn?
She is just a very nice looking actress. She's very pleasant to look at.
What is she in?
I'm sure men find her attractive.
What is she in?
Stuff. Oh gosh, she's in a ton of things. I feel like she's been in everything lately.
Let me Google her.
Yeah, you'll recognize her when you look at her. She's like that pretty exotic chick from everything,
Oh no, Olivia Munn is the hot dog chick.
Oh, that's the hot dog chick?
Yeah. Sorry, I didn't know her name.
Wait, that completely changes the entire context again. So also, okay, so you're telling me that this random G4 I did not realize Olivia Munn was a former G4 co-host. I did not know that. Wow, that actually kind of makes her cooler to me. So you're telling me that this chick is upset that other people don't think she's as hot as Olivia Munn.
Yeah.
He is upset Olivia Munn, who's like somebody who's I've heard many men folk regard her as like the most attractive woman to them, like period. She is somebody that I have heard listed in that level of women. I don't know if that's true, how many men that's true for. There's a bunch of men in the chat. You guys can corroborate. Do you think Olivia Munn's hot? A lot of people are saying, yeah, she's pretty hot. She's somebody that my impression of, like literally my association, you're like, what movie is she in? I'm like, I don't know. I just know her as that actress that every guy I know thinks is super hot. That's my only association with Olivia. And she is upset. This fucking cow is upset that people don't think she's as hot as Olivia Munn. She's literally bitching that sexism is a thing because people don't think I'm as attractive as Olivia Munn. Oh my fucking God. Get over yourself. Most people in the world probably don't think I'm as attractive as Olivia Munn. But you know what? I think I'm prettier than she is, and that's all that fucking matters. Jesus.
Where's somebody saying, how do you not know who Olivia Munn is? I'm really bad with names, but I'm really good with faces. That's my problem.
I know who she is. That's what I'm saying, but I don't.
Yeah, no, Jesse did. Jesse just didn't know that she was a former co-host. Yeah, no.
I didn't know she was a former co-host. I have no.
Randomly, I know the fact. I don't know her by name, but I randomly know the fact that she got discovered for being Slave Leia at San Diego Comic-Con, and then she co-hosted this show, and then she started doing movies and stuff. And wasn't she like a cheerleader? Like she was like a famous cheerleader or something from like she was like an NFL cheerleader or something. But so yeah, I think so. So she's like a very attractive woman, and in popular opinion, Olivia Munn is very attractive, and then she co-hosted this show.
And the thing is though, like she says, oh, she's not put on this earth, and like maybe that's true, but literally, like she has honestly made most of her money by being good to easy. Like it's just such a retarded thing to be like, she wasn't put on this earth to be attractive. I'm like, yeah, but literally she's made her entire living off of being attractive. So
Casper Transport LLC, thank you for the $20 $19.99 super chat. Close enough. She was an X-Men. Yeah, she was Psylocke in X-Men. The lady with the mid pink sword. Yeah, or mine pink sword. Yeah, she's Psylocke. Again, I don't. If I knew her by name, I would have immediately said that. But yeah, I'm not good with names unless I watch them.
Hot exotic chick.
Yeah. But so yeah, that's a little bit more context. God, we're only 54 seconds in. All right, let's just power through it.
4-minute video ever.
Hey, she cooking, y'all.
And that's just obvious sexism. You don't need to explicitly objectify women or declare that you hate women to be sexist. Just go ahead and check out Thorne's latest meltdown on Twitter for some spark notes. Now, here at XPlay, our reviews are written and produced by a team of people. There are too many games for one person to shoulder the burden. So we divide and conquer. And when we use language like we or I, that's the reviewer. That's coming from the mouth and experience of the reviewer reading that review. And that's not to say that Gerard...
Can I just say, I would literally have anyone else read me a review than her. Like, she is just so unpleasant. Again, you can go about this and be entertaining and be funny, but the last thing I want in my life is Karen reading something to me. So, if she approaches like Ellen DeGeneres, oh yeah, let me tell you about a video game, because that's kind of the similar vibe that she's going for. Okay, that's pleasant. I could listen to Ellen DeGeneres read me a review of something. I don't know if I could listen to those other guys because I don't know who they are, but I do not want to listen to her. And it has nothing to do with sexism. It has everything to do with, I don't like Karens. I don't need Karen reading me something.
You know how there was that statistic that came out, I don't know, some bazillion years ago that was like, the majority of women artificially make their voices higher pitched to sound more feminine. And I'm like, yeah, I mean, you can hear it. You can hear a lot of women do that. They pitch up and they do things with their voice to purposely speak in a higher register. This chick is doing the opposite. Like, you can hear she's modulating her voice. She's like sending it through her cheeks and like trying to talk like this to try to make herself sound tougher, like more like one of the guys. Like she's really like, you're gonna believe her. Like, I can't actually be strong on my own, so I gotta sound like a dude, so you'll know that I'm one of the guys. Look at my denim jacket and my hoodie. Oh, I'm a guy. Like, to try so hard is so strong here. It's deeply upsetting.
Yeah.
And again, because of that modulation, I agree, makes it incredibly unpleasant to just listen to the sound of her voice.
No, like it's like, but again, it has nothing to do with sexism. I'm a straight woman that has absolutely no fucking interest in other women in a sexual way at all. It's like, I don't want to listen to you. And again, nothing to do with sexism. It has everything to do with pleasantness. You'll catch more flies with honey than with vinegar. I have no interest in this. Angel, nice to see you. How you doing, girl? Who even is this lady? She's the new host of G4TV. She's cringe, unbearable, and annoying. Thank you.
And that's putting it nicely.
That's here, 3 women right here. We don't like this shit. It's terrible. She's a Karen. None of us want to listen to it. Not sexism. It's just a matter of taste.
Just taste.
M. Cook Jr. thing was about. She's reading from a teleprompter for this rant.
That's what she's trying to tell you.
Yeah,
that's what she's trying to subtly explain to you with that part of we don't write our own reviews. I didn't even write this rant. I can't even defend myself properly. Somebody wrote this for me.
Borg Pork, thank you for the member chat, dude. Nice to see you. Wonder what Chris Gore thinks about this. I don't know. I guess I
was
could
just
ask
thinking about
him.
that. I was like, we should
Why?
just ask him. What?
Huh?
Sorry, what were you saying? What'd you say?
Oh, you said you were just thinking about that, and I asked why.
Oh, because Chris
like
Gore
that's a random thought.
No, because Chris Gore used to be G4. That's where his notoriety comes from, was being on G4. So I was like, we should just shoot him an email and be like, hey, have you seen this video? How do you feel about your former show? Yeah, no, that was where Chris Gore's claim to fame comes from. So yeah.
I didn't know. I don't know anything about G4. I have no knowledge.
G4 was basically the television programming that was like the fandom menace before the internet, where it was like people who got together and talked about and like did pop culture reviews, video game reviews, you know, talked about pop culture, talked about nerd culture, it was like pop nerd culture, you know. They had some game shows and stuff, I think, but like, yeah, but it was Chris Gore was basically doing what we were all doing on G4 before we were doing it on YouTube, essentially. So
interesting. Yeah. I didn't know that.
Jeff used to watch G4 all the time. Jeff used to watch him back in the day all the time. So that was cool.
Yeah. See, guys, I'm not kidding when I said I lived under a rock. I literally know what none of this stuff is.
There you go. Well,
I could answer a random Star Wars or Star Trek fact, though.
Hey, that was like me when I met Ethan, and I'm like, oh, this guy Ethan is really funny. I think he's super funny. And then everyone's like, you know, he drew real comic books. And I was like, what? And then one of my friends, I was telling him about that, like, oh, I was in the stream with you, and I mentioned the name, and he freaked out. And he's like, you know, I have a signed cover of his on my wall. And I was like, I did not know that, but do you want to say hi to him next time I'm talking to him?
Christopher, thank you for super chat. Why is this little soy man from G4 so angry? Sexism, I don't know. Because she's upset that she's not bangable as Olivia Munn, apparently. All right, let's
what she's upset about.
Let's try to finish this. Oh my god.
TBH, Adam, or myself don't contribute to the reviews. We absolutely do. But it'll always be in varying degrees and take a whole team behind us. That's why we're X-Play and not Adam Play. We have done.
Can I just say I don't need a team of people to do a review of my opinion?
Yeah, you know, like it's great that you got this team to do it and all, but exactly, you're not making yourself sound better with your little here's the behind the scenes. Like, no, we don't want to think of these parts of it. These actually cheapen our appreciation of the show when you go into these minutia about how little you actually contribute to the content. But carry on.
Jesus, we're almost halfway through.
Oh boy, I might live to see the end of this.
Oh, Borg. You talked to him at LA Comic Con, Anna, and didn't even know who he was. I know his YouTube channel. I didn't know how he became famous.
Yeah, no, that was.
I mean, I know who Chris Gore is. I like his YouTube videos, and like when he does like those specialized videos where he's talking about movies and stuff. But yeah, I don't know his origin story. Yeah, let's say that.
I met him on Andy Signore's channel, and then he came over and did a double feature on Jeff and then mine.
Oh, nice.
That was fun. Yeah.
All right, we're almost halfway through.
Done the experiment and controlled for the variables. Adam will read a script written by the same writer that I will read the other half of the script.
Oh my God, stop yelling at me. Jesus.
So what you're saying, so what she's saying, what she's trying to break down for us is that they'll all read the same script from the same writer, and yet only she gets hate as if these are her opinions. So if what you're saying, what you're confessing to us is that the actual content is not what changes from person to person, like, it's hilarious that you're sitting here thinking you're defending yourself when all you're doing is admitting that you are the problem. You are admitting that the problem is not the writing, because it's the same fucking writer, that the problem is you. That when it gets to you, when it gets to your turn to read the script, that people tune out, that they get disgusted, that they feel completely compelled to tell you how they nutted to Olivia Munn, but would never in a million years think about doing it to a picture of you. Like, that's fucking, you're literally admitting that you're the problem. That the problem is you.
You know how Cecil feel when you're yelling at a man. I'm usually yelling at him for a reason, but yeah, I can't listen to myself back because I absolutely hate my nasally, high-pitched screech of a voice. I think my voice is like nails on a chalkboard, which is actually why I hate editing my own videos so much, because I hate listening to myself. And I actually am, I say this all the time, I'm honestly surprised so many people listen to me because I think I sound absolutely fucking terrible. But I don't think I sound this bad. Like, I don't think I'm this crazy.
Nope. You don't.
But also one of the things that I'm getting at is, okay, so you guys are all, I get it, your personalities, you don't actually believe the things that you're saying. You're reading a review that somebody else wrote for you. Here's the thing. I can watch a movie and see actors that are doing that, and, you know, I don't judge the actor on it. If these guys are supposed to be experts giving their opinions on things, but they're reading reviews that somebody else wrote and they're all reading the same review, well, then you just lost all your credibility in my opinion. And if this is an opinion-based show, then what the fuck are you even doing? You guys literally just exposed yourself as fraud, unless I'm missing the point. Am I missing the point?
Right, I agree. Like, unless you're saying someone writer and you just said you may or may not have contributed anything to that particular segment. So, exactly.
All right, let's continue.
But I'll be the one flamed. And yeah, it also happens to Gerard and TBH. But that doesn't discount the sexism of how it happens to me when it does. Both things can be true.
Okay.
But there is a general hatred of any...
So you just said, it's me. But you then just said, no, everyone else gets hate too. But my hate is sexist.
But it's me. Yeah.
But my hate is sexist. It doesn't matter. It's true that we all get equal hate, but my hate is sexist hate, and that makes it worse.
I love this comment.
No,
I feel
Jeff,
sorry for her.
This woman, the new female host of G4, is bitching that people don't find her as attractive as Olivia Munn. Who is it? Some ugly fucking cow. Some dumb, stupid bitch with brown
Ow,
teeth.
I'm wearing headphones, Jesse.
That people don't want to fuck her as much as they want to fuck Olivia Munn. I don't understand.
Ow.
Was hot, but
Next time, give me a warning.
Full of shit. No one respected her. She came on. She would get dressed as Princess Leia to like Comic-Con.
That's what they're talking about. She was there for the sex appeal.
Because Kevin Pereira and all these other douchebags were the guys. They don't need some. Realistically, Morgan Webb and all the women there were cool, and you know, they were good enough.
And she literally just admitted that even when they all read off of the same script, people don't like what she has to say. So it's clearly her delivery. Anyway.
Well, you suck, lady.
I feel sorry for her wife's girlfriend's boyfriend.
I know. I do too, dude. All right, let's almost finish this. We're almost done.
Change that isn't Adam, and that all receive special flame just for being a woman. And I wish I could turn the camera.
It's not for just being a woman. It's because you're a very unpleasant human.
It's for being you. And that's something people don't understand, right? And that's a big part about this new identity politics world too, that people really need to realize is that you talk about two things can be true. Okay, it can be true that there are some sexist people in the world. It can also be true that the vast majority of the time that you hear overt sexist things being said, it's not because the person hates women. It's because the person hates you and are just not clever or creative enough to come up with an insult beyond run-of-the-mill sexism. It's not that they're a sexist person and hate women. It's just that they're not creative with their insults, and you in particular suck. That's all.
All right, we're almost done. We're almost done.
Round, so you could see the incredible team in
and they probably look significantly better and probably could deliver a much better presentation than this chick.
Abby, Megan, Joe, Jake, Zipper, Gabby. It goes on and on.
I like how she goes. She's like, I'm going to name off the women: Joe, Jake, Zipper.
Yo, who the fuck is Zipper? That's not a person.
On former writers that are now on ATOS like Vanessa. When you're in our DMs or on those YouTube comments or in Twitch chat right now, those reactionary threads thinking that I'm somehow ruining your current X-Play experience because you can't objectify me how you previously did to Morgan, or that I'm somehow less qualified to speak on something, but you can't quite put your finger on why. Even
I know exactly why it is. I don't have to put my finger on it. I know. It's because you're unpleasant to listen to and I don't like you.
It's because you
like that's what it is.
It's because you sound like you're going to kick me in the balls and call me sexist if I disagree with what you say, rather than convincing me with your actual opinions.
I mean, like, she could be the most chill, pleasant person on the face of the planet. And it, again, has nothing to do with objectification. I don't care what she looks like. I don't care what anyone looks like. Unless it's somebody that I'm actually trying to have sex with, which is my boyfriend. I genuinely don't care what other people look like. Oh, also if they're trying to like look like a very specific character, then that does matter. Like, oh, is this costume accurate kind of thing? But that has nothing to do with this. But it's like, I don't fucking care. Dress however you want. Look however you want. You're an unpleasant person, and this is a huge turnoff. I'm a woman that's not trying to objectify another woman. I don't want to watch this. I don't want to listen to it. This is painful.
Exactly. Maybe the problem is not that you... Because that's, again, also admitting that there are other women on the show who come before you who haven't gotten the same backlash. So maybe the problem is not your unused vagina. Maybe the problem is you.
Mm-hmm.
No, I'm reading the exact same script as Adam, but you have no problem with he's part of it. You're letting your unconscious biases ruin my day, and you're gatekeeping the gaming space. So maybe for 2022, we be a bit nicer, a bit more self-reflective, and we enjoy the fact that people are working hard to make free content for you. If you don't like it, don't watch it.
There you go. I'm not gonna watch you. Yeah. Okay. There you go. I'm not going to, because I don't like you. Here, yeah, you can read this. The cell phone there was hardcore. Yeah. I don't like you. I don't want to listen to you, and I'm not going to watch you. There you go.
Don't ruin my day by with your unconscious bias. Don't ruin my day with your fucking voice. Challenge accepted. Yeah, I just won't ever listen to you again. Thank you. Thank you for the out. Thank you so much for the out. I'm going to do exactly what you asked and never fucking listen to you again, bitch. Wow.
All right.
Peace.
As somebody pointed out, this is not the peace time. This is whooping the bird across the pond. This is the peace time. This is fuck you.
Is this just all clap?
Can I just say I feel bad for you? I don't need to go. I don't need to frost. I don't need to go. Don't. We're good. I'm good. I'm good. That was the best it's ever gonna get out of us. I don't need to go.
All right, then we don't need to listen to this anymore.
Wow,
So,
if that's the best it's ever gonna get, then I really don't ever need to watch this again. That's the best this gets.
I'm glad I wasn't like a hardcore fan of that show or that channel, because holy shit, that was terrible. That was absolutely fucking terrible. Yeah. You should do a video on this, Jesse.
Are you?
I think you'd.
I might, because she sucks. She sucks. Jane is not hungry? No. Jane, are you okay? Jane, do you feel well?
Okay, I'm gonna read the super chat. Mark Wilkins, thank you about maybe they could replace her with Sasha Banks. Who is that?
Oh God, no.
Oh, wasn't she in Mando?
She's the wrestler. She's not good. She's a fine wrestler, but she's not like this amazing. I know she wants to have this actress. I would not listen to Sasha Banks on G4 either. She's pretty. I mean, like it would be a visual improvement for sure. She's got a banging butt, and she's not unappealing.
That doesn't really matter to me as long as she can be pleasant. You know,
right? I mean, it doesn't help you or I because it certainly doesn't help you or I. She does a better. I find her voice kind of annoying. Not as annoying as that chick's, but I do find Sasha Banks to be a little annoying.
I don't remember her voice, but honestly, you can't get worse than that.
Somebody was saying she should replace this chick. You can't get. I mean, she would be a step up, but not a particularly big one. I would take Bianca.
Well, that was everything that I had to talk about.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I had a poll going on that said, "Are you watching Book of Boba Fett?" I'm going to end it right now. The results of that were, if it will fucking load. All right, so we had. Let me get a screenshot of this real fast. Okay, so let me send it over here so I can actually see it. Why are my notifications all funny? Okay. So are you watching Book of Boba Fett? No, I'm not going to. 47%. Yep, 40%. And no, but I'm waiting to binge. 11%. So doesn't look too good for Book of Boba Fett as, I mean, it's not obviously 50-50, but 40% is, you know, not a very good number out of 3.
Interests.
No. But yeah, I've had to pee for like an hour now, and I need to go make dinner.
We went long.
Yeah, we did. That's what she said. I think we would have been good if I didn't play that video, but that was on
torture me.
I know. Well, so this is going to be re-uploaded onto my secondary stream, that Star Wars Girl Live, where I upload most of my live streams. So this is going to be re-uploaded there. You guys should probably see it up there sometime tomorrow or possibly the next day. And I have linked below in the description all of our past episodes, so you guys can check that out. This was number 68, I believe. Next week is our episode 69 on Jesse's channel.
Yeah.
And yeah, so Jesse, is there anything you want to plug before we say goodbye to everyone?
Make sure you guys go check out Wokebusters. That's Jeff's new comic. It's on Indiegogo right now. The guys are taking back Portland and de-wokifying it. It's awesome. So definitely, Jeff, just the action cover that is only is listed as a work in progress right now. Jeff is finished with that pretty much, and I got to see it, and it looks really cool. So definitely check this out. Make sure you're backing and stay tuned for the variant covers as they come out. But yeah, that's the Stay Woke Trigglypuff ma'am. Those are the dudes. Here's some woke ghosts. It's been so fun watching all this come together. But yeah, that action cover down there that's just in sketch form there is done now, and it looks badass. Also, yeah, the slime, that's the cool little fun extra add-on for this. There's Wokebusters slime, so it's
nice.
It's gonna be an exciting project. And then yeah, you can check me out over on 17 Live. Although I'm also still raising money for my fencing club on Indiegogo as well, so that's a thing. Also, but yeah, $5 you become a founder, get your name put up on our founding banner. Oh, somebody contributed just 10 minutes ago, so thank you if it was someone from the show. And that's happening. We were originally going to be opening in March, but we lost the space, so we're back to location scouting, which is a shitty place to be in, but hopefully maybe the next place we find will be an improvement. So that's the goal. And then 17 Live is where I'm doing all of my streams. You can see me playing music, hanging out with the cats, doing the stuff that I do. Later this month, I'll probably have Saber Hands again. That's a thing. And my you can check out my Discord. My request songs are all up there if you want to request music, etc. La la la. The end. Do all that stuff.
Well, fun stuff. All of that is linked in the description of this video as well. Also, guys, before we go, my good friend John Malin has Graveyard Shift Volume 4 up on Indiegogo. Woo! I just posted the link in the chat, so guys, go check that out if you haven't already. I have backed it, and you should back it as well. You know, go continue on the story. And Also, we have our very own Kelsey Shannon from the Jack Show, the K in the Jack Show, finally doing an Indiegogo of this book that he's been doing, Nora Saga, and it's going to be, you know, all 6 issues put together in one volume. Guys, if this does good, Kelsey will continue to stay on YouTube. That's the thing, is now that Kelsey's got a campaign, he's got to make the rounds, he's got to be on live streams and stuff. So that's why we've actually been seeing him, and he hasn't disappeared. So the better this does, the more we'll see of Kelsey. So go make sure that you back it. You guys, none of the dates for Kelsey have been picked up. So go have a date with Kelsey.
Oh my God! I'm gonna go on a date with Kelsey.
This kitty is no longer there. That was my question. I'm like, will the cat be on the date? And the kitty will not. The kitty will not be on the date. But yeah. But so go check that out. Go sub to Jesse's channel. Make sure that you're still sub to my channel. Go make sure that your notification bell is set to all, that we actually get notifications from the other videos and live stream. I really have to pee. Jack Show's on my channel tomorrow. We have a special guest, Brittany Venti. So be there, be square, everyone. Goodbye.
I'll tell you where I thought I came in the forest, when the lightsaber goes like this and flies off. I said, oh, what a great entrance. Ah! Ray caught it? She hasn't even been to